Chapter 710. Once the news spread on the forum, no one talked about Feng Xianxian anymore. After all, whether it was promiscuity or miscarriage, they were all Feng Xianxian's personal affairs. However, the dean's matter was different. It concerned the reputation of the school and the positive image of the teachers. Therefore, the principal, who had already gotten off work, rushed back and held an emergency meeting. In order to give the students an explanation, the school immediately made an announcement and suspended the dean of the forensic science department. They also set up a special investigation team to investigate. Mu Qiqi deliberately waited until the end and watched the dean carry his briefcase and leave Xingting University with a dejected look on his face. Since he was old, he had to accept his old age. He shouldn't covet everything. There would be retribution. "Let's go home," Mu Qiqi said to the big Buddha in the car. In order to accompany this little thing to see the results, Xiao had already been reading documents in the car for more than an hour. "Since when did you treat Feng Xianxian so well? I'm not doing this just for her. I still have to stay in the forensic science department for a few years. Aren't I suffering to look at this disgusting face all day?" Mu Qiqi lay on Xiao's lap and acted coquettishly. Xiao sneered but did not expose Mu Qiqi. "By the way, your old man's birthday is coming up. Should we prepare a gift for him? You're pretty good at changing the topic. You're pretty good at it." Xiao put down the document and pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. "I won't prepare one this time. I just want to see if you can give him a gift that will make him happy. You know that I'm his enemy. Aren't you making things difficult for me? I can help others no matter how difficult it is. Are you trying to kill yourself by giving a gift to your own family?" Xiao did not intend to let her go. He had really spoiled this little thing. "All right then. Since you've said so, I'll do as you say. But let me make it clear first. Before the gift is ready, you're not allowed to ask anything." Xiao curled his lips, looking like he wanted to see what tricks she was up to. Mu Qiqi did not tell Feng Xianxian about it, but Feng Xianxian still found out about it. Since she wanted to deal with the top student, she went to the school forum and found out that the head of the forensic science faculty was suspended from his duties. Other than Mu Qiqi, no one else was willing to stand up for her, just like how they dealt with that scumbag back then. At that thought, Feng Xianxian felt that she had to hurry up and catch up to Mu Qiqi. Since there was a school opening ceremony, why not take advantage of this opportunity? A top student, right? Let's see if he could really get the scholarship this time. The next day, Huang Yao's office. Ever since Sheng Bowen rejected who ran that day, she had not appeared again. It was possible that she had given up. No matter what, this made Sheng Bowen feel very relaxed. He could also find some free time to peek at Hu Rant's serious look at work. Although Sheng Bowen didn't know why Ren Yufei had agreed to Xing Kai's suggestion, she didn't seem to have explained it to him in detail. But that was not important. What was important was that Ren Yufei, who was immersed in her work, was really beautiful. Perhaps because she noticed Sheng Bowen's torch-like gaze, Ren Yufei raised her head and glared at him. In the eyes of other colleagues, the two of them were still ordinary superiors and subordinates. Therefore, Sheng Bowen rarely had the chance to really talk to Ren Yufei. But were they going to continue getting along like this? This was not conducive to his plan to chase after his wife. Therefore, he directly pressed the intercom. "Secretary Ren, come in for a moment." Ren Yufei thought it was business, so she quickly got up. However, when she saw Sheng Bowen's relaxed gaze, she immediately said, "President, if it's for personal matters, can't we talk after work?" After saying that, Ren Yufei was about to turn around, but she was stopped by Sheng Bowen. "When it's time to get off work, you'll say that you're tired and want to go home to rest. Accompany me for lunch. Anyway, it used to be like this." Ren Yufei was afraid of being seen by others, so she nodded. "Okay." Thinking about it, Sheng Bowen felt a little aggrieved. He was the dignified president of Huang Yao, but he had to hide and be careful when he wanted to have a meal with his girlfriend. In the end, it was still because the knot in Ren Yufei's heart had not been completely opened and she could not truly trust him. In fact, he was also doubting whether he could really protect Ren Yufei. After the two of them got off work and were about to go out, they met the vice president of the company, who sent them an urgent document. "You'd better not go out to eat because you'll have a headache soon." "What's going on?" "The new products for next season haven't been released yet, but imitations have already flooded the market." The vice president showed the report to Sheng Bowen. "At present, we don't know who leaked it. It seems that the person's position isn't low." Xing Bowen looked at it and could only look at Ren Yufei helplessly. Ren Yufei did not blame him. She just said, "I'll order food for the two of you right away. Including yourself." Xing Bowen did not forget to remind her before closing the door. This secretary is really considerate. The vice president could not help but sigh. Don't have any ideas about her. She's already your chairman's granddaughter-in-law, Xing Bowen said. When the vice president heard this, he immediately felt a sour taste in his mouth. He also smiled. I say, a dignified president cares about a secretary. I really have to congratulate him. This matter is a secret for the time being, Xing Bowen instructed the vice president. Got it. Let's get down to business first. Xing Bowen smiled and looked at Ren Yufei through the glass. This woman really made him feel at ease. However, how would he know that Hu Ran had hired someone to follow Ren Yufei? Hu Ran did not flare up now because she had not seen anything explosive yet. After all, it always took time to follow someone. Xing Bowen stayed in the company until evening when he received a call from Xing Minglan. She and Jing Yun were boarding the plane that night. Thinking that eighth brother and the others had already gone to see them off, he also pulled Ren Yufei and said, "Come with me somewhere." But, are you unwilling? No, I have to go home and change my clothes. Ren Yufei looked down at herself and said, I'm too professional. It's okay. Minglan and the others won't mind. You're already my girlfriend, so can't you see my family? Fourth sister is going abroad today. I don't know when we'll see each other again. All right, I'll go with you. Ren Yufei could not take it anymore. She had seen Xing Bowen act coquettishly in front of Xing Xiao and Xing Minglan. This man would only show such a side to people he truly cared about. Therefore she felt that she was warmed too. The two of them quickly got into the car. At this time Xing Bowen asked Ren Yufei, You've been by my side for so long, but I still don't know about your family situation. Where are your relatives? Chapter 7:11. Xing Bowen saw that Ren Yufei's face was pale and realized that he might have said something wrong. He quickly tried to smooth things over. If you don't want to talk about it, we won't mention it. It's not like that. Ren Yufei tilted her head to look at Xing Bowen and replied, I just feel that family matters can't be brought up in public. There's nothing that can't be brought up in public. Look at Xiaoqi. She never belittles herself, Xing Bowen said. If you're willing to tell me, I'll listen. If you're not willing, then we'll wait until the day you untie the knot in your heart. Ren Yufei was silent for a while and finally admitted defeat. Actually, I have 2 younger brothers at home. Because I had to raise my younger brother, my parents sold me to a couple who couldn't have children when I was 4 years old. However, after a car accident, the couple left and I was homeless, so I was sent back. Later, my parents didn't have any more ideas about me. It's just that I don't have anything that my younger brother has, so I secretly swore that one day, I would escape from my original family. After I became an adult, I relied on my own efforts to get into university and worked part-time to study. However, my parents knew about my situation and wanted me to earn money to buy a house for my younger brother. I couldn't take it anymore, so I broke up with my family. Later, I entered Huangyao and was taken in by Xiao Xing at that time. He asked me to, but you didn't do anything to hurt me, Xing Bowen said with a smile. At that time I needed this income. I couldn't be fired by Xiao Xing. But in the end you didn't take this path. Xing Bowen looked at her and his expression softened. Look, it's not a big deal to say it now, right? Chairman, do you really not despise my birth? Ren Yufei's expression was very unconfident. I really know myself. I really don't want to climb up the social ladder. You're just doing it because you have feelings for me. Ren Yufei did not say anything because Xing Bowen had already said what was on her mind. Yufei, I was born into a wealthy family. It's not as amazing as you think. I was also imprisoned by the old man and lost my freedom and life. Since that's all in the past, let's look forward, okay? After Ren Yufei heard this, she nodded and felt a little relieved. Xing Bowen might not be as good as Xing Xiao, who could strategize everything. However, the feeling he gave people was real. He might not be able to save you from danger, but when danger came, he would definitely stand in front of you and bear the pain for you. You're probably the easiest person to get along with among the rich and powerful. The rich aren't as scary as you think. I can't help but criticize little Seven again. Is she difficult to get along with? Ren Yufei shook her head. That was because Mu Qiqi had always been tormented by Mu Tongxue even if she was born into a rich family. She might only be 20 years old, but she was much more mature than most men and women. Soon they arrived at the airport. By then Mu Qiqi was already touching Xing Minglan's belly and whispering to her. "You're finally here." Xing Minglan glared at him. "I thought you wouldn't come. You don't plan to see Grandpa before leaving? I went to see him 2 days ago. Didn't you know?" Xing Minglan reached out and hugged Xing Bowen. "Third brother, be happy." Jing Yun still looked serious, but it was obvious that his eyes were on Xing Minglan's movements. He was really nervous. "Call often when you're abroad," Xing Bowen couldn't help but remind her. "Why did you bring your secretary to see us off?" Xing Minglan teased. "That's your future sister-in-law." Xing Bowen rolled his eyes at her and turned around to put his arm around Ren Yufei's shoulder. "When your brother gets married, don't forget to give me a gift. Be good to her." The few of them saw each other off at the airport. Finally, they sent the couple to the security checkpoint. Then Mu Qiqi yawned at Xing Xiao. "Let's go, Xiao Xiao. We're going home to sleep. You guys should go home and sleep too." When Ren Yufei heard this, her ears immediately turned red. "Xiao Qi, are you planning to go home and suppress eighth brother again?" Xing Bowen teased. "That's our boudoir. Do you have it?" Xing Bowen choked. He knew that this girl was up to no good, but he still went to provoke her. He was asking for trouble. Mu Qiqi looked at the two of them. One was stiffer than the other. She smiled. "All right, I won't tease you anymore. Secretary Ren, keep in touch when you're free." "Hey, Miss Mu." Mu Qiqi looked at the two of them meaningfully and then burrowed into Xing Zhao's arms. "It's already March. Why are you still so cold?" Xing Bowen looked in the direction where Mu Qiqi and Ren Yufei had left and shook his head. Then he turned to Ren Yufei and said, "Let's go. I'll send you back too." Ren Yufei's face had been blushing because Mu Qiqi was really too shameless. "By the way, it's Grandpa's birthday in a few days. You should come too." Before getting into the car, Xing Bowen said to Ren Yufei. Ren Yufei did not pay attention to Xing Bowen's words because she noticed from the rearview mirror that someone seemed to be following them. Late that night, Hu Ran already knew about Ren Yufei and Xing Bowen's intimate actions. After all, she had sent someone to follow them for several days. "Miss Hu, do you still want to follow them?" the man asked Hu Ran. "There's no need." Hu Ran shook her head and sat on the chair. Her whole body was stiff because she found it hard to accept. "By the way, there's one more thing. Since yesterday, someone else has been following Xiao Sheng." Before the man left, he said to Hu Ran curiously, "At that time I thought it was someone else you found, but when I saw it later, it wasn't." "Why do you think it wasn't?" "Because I saw that person get into an expensive car with my own eyes. I asked my friend to check the license plate and found that the car belonged to the Gu family." After Hu Ran heard this, she vaguely guessed that the other group of people might be Xing Kai's men. Xing Bowen was not Xing Xiao, who could easily discover the dangers around him. He could take damage, but he had no defense. After hearing this news, her anger dissipated by more than half. "If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first." The man saw that Hu Ran did not move and thought that she did not care. However, Hu Ran stopped him. "Wait, continue to follow Xing Bowen for me, especially the person following him." "I understand, Miss Hu." Papa Hu heard the conversation between the two of them outside Hu Ran's room. He sighed and entered the room to pat his daughter's shoulder. "Why are you doing this? Since you're so angry, aren't you just letting third young master die?" "Dad, I know you can't let go. Actually, have you realized that your feelings for third young master are possessive, worried, and angry? But there's no heartache?" Hu Ran did not say anything. "That's because your feelings for him are more like family." Chapter 7:12. The reason why you're angry is because there's no man more outstanding than him by your side for the time being, but he started a new relationship so quickly. You think his feelings are cheap. But baby, there's never been a deep love between the two of you. He met the person he really likes and pursued her. Is that wrong? If it were you who fell in love with someone else, even if you were married and asked for a divorce from third young master, he wouldn't blame you. Do you believe it? Papa Hu's words calmed Hu Ran's heart. She believed it because Xing Bowen was such a good person. Originally, the two of you could still be family, but your recent actions have caused a lot of trouble for the two of you. Daughter, I once thought you were a fool, so I entrusted you to third young master. However, you've already recovered. Think about the person you used to date. Third young master is really not your cup of tea. After Hu Ran heard this, she immediately smiled. Dad, I understand. If you understand, then think about it carefully. I still have to follow him. After all, she wanted to know what Xing Kai was going to do. In 2 days it would be old Master Sheng's birthday. Could it be that this awkward person who had been kicked out of his family still wanted to cause some big news? As for the matter between Xing Bowen and Ren Yufei, Hu Ran sighed. She would wait until she found out Xing Kai's intentions. 2 days later, the various faculties of Xing Ting held activities related to the opening ceremony one after another. Feng Xianxian found out from the forum which day the activities of the Foreign Languages Department were going to be held. And that top student was called Xianxia. As a man, he had already abandoned his gentlemanly demeanor and used a woman's privacy to attack others. He would be treated the same way or even more miserably. The opening ceremony of the Foreign Languages Department started at 7 in the evening. After Feng Xianxian went to sign the contract with the agent that day, she gave Mu Qiqi a call. Are you going to watch a show tonight? When and where? Mu Qiqi asked with interest. The auditorium of the 3rd teaching building at 7 o'clock. If nothing goes wrong, it should be very exciting. Then I'll see you at school at 6:50. Mu Qiqi smiled and hung up the phone. After dinner, Mu Qiqi lay on Xing Zhao's body coquettishly and did not say a word. Xing Zhao lowered his head to look at the little one and knew that she must be up to something again. Tell me. Feng Xianxian asked me to go to the school to watch a play tonight. Think I should go? What do you think? Mu Qiqi asked in return. I'll bring Su Che there. Be careful. You've already thought it through. Why are you still asking me? Xing Zhao pretended to be angry and pushed Mu Qiqi away. Mu Qiqi observed Xing Zhao for a while before suddenly asking, Or do you want to go too? Do you think I'm in the mood for that? Xing Zhao mocked. Come back before 9. Or you'll sleep in the living room tonight. Mu Qiqi smiled but said nothing. She only kissed him on the cheek before turning to leave. At 6:50 p.m., the two of them met outside the auditorium on time. Taking advantage of the fact that the Foreign Languages Department was about to begin, everyone was already in position. Therefore, the two of them sneaked into the last row of the auditorium. Are you ready? Mu Qiqi asked in a low voice under the light. You just need to wait and see. Feng Xianxian pointed at the auditorium with her chin and answered. The two of them hid among the students in a low-key manner. Because the lights were dim, no one noticed that the two of them had sneaked into the classroom. Then the leaders of the Foreign Languages Department rushed forward to speak first. Which segment is the award of the scholarship? Mu Qiqi really hated such a long foreshadowing and asked Feng Xianxian in a low voice. What you should be asking is when that scumbag's background will be exposed. Let's continue to watch. As the two of them were talking, they saw Xianxia stand up from the first row. It turned out that he was one of the hosts of the event today. With such a harmless face, no one would have thought that he would be so despicable. Xianxia was a talent in the Foreign Languages Department. He had a good relationship with both men and women and was very open in the event. It could be seen that he was very confident. However, he was too talented, so of course he would attract jealousy. Feng Xianxian had studied the forum for a long time before she found the weakness and enemy of this influential figure. As the president of the Student Union of the Foreign Languages Department, Xianxia, say a few words to encourage these lazy pigs. The attendance rate of the new semester is simply a joke. The dean sat below the stage and said to Xianxia, who was standing on the stage. Xianxia smiled and looked very obedient. Especially the vice president. Fadong, you should learn more from Xianxia. What this person called Ji Xiaodong couldn't stand the most was comparing him to Xianxia, especially by the director. In the past he did not know Xianxia's background, so he could not refute it. However, ever since he received the document from the kind-hearted person, he no longer cared about Xianxia. What should I learn from him? How about taking drugs? Ji Xiaodong sneered. Dean, do you really not know that his brother has just been released from prison and is an out-and-out demon? If I learn from him, then what will become of those soldiers who lost their lives to drug enforcement? After hearing his words, the dean's expression changed. Not only that, but everyone present who pricked up their ears to hear it also changed their expressions. Ji Xiaodong, what nonsense are you spouting? The dean quickly scolded him. Xianxia knows very well whether I'm spouting nonsense or not. Ji Xiaodong sneered. I don't want to hide it from others. In the past few years in school, you've kept your mouth shut about your family matters. If this isn't hiding, then what is? Ji Xiaodong and Xianxia started to argue. Don't you find it disgusting and ironic that the younger brother of a criminal flaunts his prowess in school every day and takes the school's scholarship? Ji Xiaodong, shut up. You've gone too far. The dean quickly stopped him. Dean, I won't say much else. I'll just say a question in my heart. After knowing his background, even if you think he's not wrong, do you still want to award the scholarship to him? Ji Xiaodong sneered. As for me, I'm not afraid of Xia's revenge. After all, I have a bunch of lawyers at home. Didn't I hear that his brother has been released from prison? If your brother dares to come looking for trouble with me, my parents will definitely let him go back to prison and stay there until the end. This was also the first time someone from the Foreign Languages Department had heard that Xianxia had such a background. Xia's expression was very ugly. He put down the microphone and was about to leave the auditorium, but he was stopped by Ji Xiaodong. Don't pretend to be innocent. You're best at this trick. If you really have a magnanimous heart, then why don't you dare to let everyone know about this? Chapter 7:13. Seeing that Ji Xiaodong was saying more and more things, the dean quickly said to the boys in the department, "Hurry up and pull him down. He's full of nonsense." 3 or 4 students stepped forward and pulled Ji Xiaodong towards the exit. Because there were so many people, Ji Xiaodong definitely could not resist. As he walked, he said, "Xianxia, everyone in the school is qualified to receive a scholarship, but you don't. You're still so shameless." Outside the door, Ji Xiaodong's voice was getting further and further away. Xianxia stood on the stage and had already lost all face. Everything happened too suddenly, so no one could react in time. They only felt like their ears were exploding from this explosive news. Let's continue the event. Xianxia, come with me. The dean stood up from his seat and said to Xianxia. Xianxia was stunned for a moment before he walked down from the stage. He tried his best to make himself look like his legs were not weak. Who was it? Using that idiot Ji Xiaodong to humiliate him? When Xianxia left the stage, he glanced at the entire audience. However, he did not find anything unusual. However, he had hidden his brother's matter so well. How did Ji Xiaodong know about it? Mu Qiqi and Feng Xianshan buried their heads under their seats. When Xianxia was called away, that would be the climax. Because the entire Department of Foreign Languages was in an uproar. Thinking about the students who entered the Department of Foreign Languages, even if they did not come from rich families, their families were at least clean. However, Xianxia was an exception. Moreover, his brother did not do anything sneaky but did the most disgusting thing. I'm convinced too. To think that I had a crush on Xianxia. I really didn't expect him to have such a terrifying brother. Isn't the most terrifying thing that a dangerous person like him doesn't tell anyone? Although he's the younger brother of a criminal and he's not wrong because of his brother's shady business, I hate him too. What scholarship? The school really shouldn't have given it to him. Gossip was a fearful thing. It was not Feng Xianshan's fault that her private affairs had been made public and discussed by others. However, others could say extremely vicious things about her. Now that it was Xianxia, he would let him have a taste of the pain of being despised, reviled, and wronged without being able to explain himself. Is it safe for you to look for Ji Xiaodong? Don't drag innocent people into this mess. Don't worry. Even if Xianxia's brother wants to take revenge, he'll think about it. After all, Ji Xiaodong's family is full of lawyers. Unless he still wants to get in and drag Xianxia in, I've been waiting on the forum for a few days. There were other candidates, but in the end I felt that he was the most capable. Feng Xianshan explained. So, I sent this person the information about Xianxia's brother. How can you be sure that Ji Xiaodong will cause trouble for Xianxia on this occasion? I can't guarantee anything, but I've already asked the cleaning lady to replace their PowerPoint slides after they finished rehearsing. I thought that Ji Xiaodong might be able to support them, but I didn't expect him to be so strong. The PowerPoint slides haven't come in handy yet. After hearing that, Mu Qiqi gave Feng Xianshan a thumbs up. Are you happy now that you've taken your revenge? I'm happy. Let's go, Feng Xianshan answered and got up from the back seat without hesitation. Under everyone's gaze, someone noticed Mu Qiqi and Mu Qiqi. Isn't that Feng Xianshan and Mu Qiqi? Why are they here? Could this be a coincidence? Impossible. Feng Xianshan was expelled from school. Mu Qiqi is from the Faculty of Forensic Medicine. Why would she come to our faculty of foreign languages? Everyone began to discuss. Some people were good at reasoning and came to their own conclusions. You see, my guess is correct. Those two people just now are Feng Xianxian and Muqiqi. The reason why they're here is to watch our event. But our event is very common. The Faculty of Forensic Medicine will also hold it. So, I think the biggest possibility is that they're here because they knew that Xianxia would make a fool of himself tonight and specially came to watch the show. But the three of them have no grudges against each other. Why would the two of them do this? Everyone fell into deep thought. They felt that Xianxia's matter was very similar to Feng Xianxian's previous grievance. Could it be that Xianxia was the one who leaked Feng Xianxian's privacy? Everyone felt that it was unbelievable when they guessed this possibility. Why would Xianxia do this? However, other than that, there was no other explanation. On the other side, Xianxia and the dean had already entered the office. The dean felt a little uncomfortable, so he turned around and asked Xianxia, "Is what Ji Xiaodong said true?" Xianxia decided to be magnanimous. "My brother. He did do something wrong in the past, but he has already paid the price and has turned over a new leaf. Any normal person knew very well how likely it was for a drug addict to relapse. It's not your fault, but what happened tonight must have affected your reputation. After all, with such a background, everyone is afraid of you. Can you understand?" The dean asked Xianxia helplessly. Xianxia was silent for a while and nodded. "I understand. It's good that you understand. As for other matters, we'll wait for the school meeting to decide. You should go back and have a good rest." What he meant was that this year's scholarship might be gone. Thinking of this, Xianxia immediately knelt down to the dean. "Dean, my brother is my brother and I am me. I haven't done anything illegal. You can't vent your anger on me because of my brother. Xianxia, the dean can only help you protect this matter. In the end, it's up to the school's decision." When Xianxia said this, he did not feel unnatural at all because he felt that he was very innocent, but he did not think that Feng Xianxian was innocent. Wasn't Feng Xianxian the person he was venting his anger on? "Dean, I'm begging you. I need a scholarship." "Alright, I understand. You can go back first today." The professor was a little helpless. "I also know that this is not your fault. I will do my best to help you, okay? My brother made a mistake, but he has to be implicated. What kind of logic is this? There's no such thing as a son paying his father's debts now. You can't reject me just because of my brother." What he said seemed to make sense, but he seemed to have two sets of standards for Feng Xianxian. Feng Xianxian deserved it, and he was innocent enough to vent his anger on her. Dean. Chapter 7:14. Xianxia did not listen to his advice at all. He was even full of resentment. "The school is unfair to me. I'll go to the Education Bureau to submit the materials. I just want to know why I have to bear the blame for my brother's mistake. I must get an explanation from the school." Seeing that he did not know what was good for him, the dean could not be bothered to continue talking to him. "If you want to sue, go ahead. I won't stop you." Xianxia refused to communicate with the dean anymore and ran away from the professor. However, when he returned to the dormitory, he heard his roommates discussing. They all said that they saw Muqiqi and Feng Xianxian at the event. "Did you see them?" When Xianxia heard Muqiqi and Feng Xianxian's names, he immediately understood something. He admitted that he was the one who exposed Feng Xianxian's matter, but Feng Xianxian had brought it upon herself. She wanted to be with the person who caused his brother to go to jail. He just wanted to teach Feng Xianxian a lesson. However, he did not expect that Feng Xianxian would take revenge after knowing that he was the one who exposed the matter. How shameless was she? After knowing the cause and effect of the matter, Xianxia was furious. However, Feng Xianxian had already dropped out of school. Who could he argue with? Muqiqi. Thinking of this, Xianxia returned to the dormitory and slept soundly. He completely pretended that he could not hear what others were saying about him. He waited until the next morning before leaving the dormitory early and going to the forensic science classroom. Muqiqi had class in the morning, but Xianxia stopped her halfway. "I have something to say to you." Muqiqi looked at Xianxia with a cold expression and walked away from him. She turned a blind eye to this scumbag. "Muqiqi, I know it was you and Feng Xianxian who did it. You exposed my brother's matter." Muqiqi turned around and asked Xianxia, "You're allowed to vent your anger and others aren't allowed to take revenge? That cop sent my brother to prison, but Feng Xianxian insisted on being with him." Shouldn't I hate her? Xianxia asked Mu Qiqi matter-of-factly. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she sneered. You caused others to be expelled from the school. Shouldn't Feng Xianxian return the favor? Where did she get her face from? Hearing this, Mu Qiqi finally understood. Xianxia did not think that he was wrong at all, so her words became sharp. Then where did you get your face from? Don't you think you're disgusting to expose a woman's privacy? Besides, your brother committed a crime and the police arrested him. This is a matter of course. What do you have to complain about? You said that someone else made you bear the blame for your brother's mistake. This is called venting your anger. Did you vent your anger on Feng Xianxian too? Every injustice has its perpetrator and every debt has its debtor. You bullied a woman and you still have the nerve to talk nonsense in front of me? Why don't you bully Tang Yan? You think it to Tang Yan? Xianxia was rendered speechless by Mu Qiqi. It's just exposing your relationship with your brother. You should burn incense. I haven't told anyone that you bullied a woman. Otherwise, in the eyes of others, you will not be the brother of a criminal but a scumbag. Xianxia had no chance of winning against Mu Qiqi. His theory of innocence was useless in front of Mu Qiqi. Just you wait. Mu Qiqi. Just you wait. I'll wait for you. I want to see if you can get hold of my weakness and make a good show. After saying that, Mu Qiqi walked around Xianxia and returned to the classroom. It was really disgusting to think that such a lowly person could be a top student. However, in the morning, another rumor spread in the school. Xianxia was the one who exposed Feng Xianxian's matter because he wanted to take revenge on Feng Xianxian. What happened last night in the foreign languages department was Feng Xianxian's return of the favor. The two of them were returning the favor. As a result, Xianxia could not stay in school anymore. Mu Qiqi was right. The brother of a criminal was not that tragic. He just could not get a scholarship. However, he was a pervert who exposed a woman's privacy. Even the people around him felt disgusted when they saw him. Therefore, after school, Xianxia waited for Mu Qiqi at the school gate. Seeing that Mu Qiqi was about to get into the car, he ran over. Mu Qiqi, tell me clearly. Xianxia stepped forward and pulled Mu Qiqi. Su Che got out of the car and threw Xianxia over his shoulder. Do you want to die? Su Che asked in a deep voice. It's fine, Su Che. This person is shameless and shameless. Let go of him. Otherwise, he'll come looking for you later. Mu Qiqi turned around and said to Su Che. Su Che let go, but he stood beside Mu Qiqi to protect her. Xianxia lay on the ground and questioned Mu Qiqi loudly. Why did you tell others about our conversation? You said I'm disgusting? Aren't you the same? I don't have the time to spread the news about you. You were the one who found the forensic science department in a place where couples like to meet. You even said it with certainty. If someone eavesdropped on you, you can't blame it on me, can you? I don't believe it. Look at yourself and then look at me. How big is the difference between our identities? If I really wanted to deal with you, it would be a piece of cake. So, don't disgust me anymore. With that, Mu Qiqi opened the car door and sat beside Xianxia. This man had been listening to the show in the car from the beginning to the end. Xianxia couldn't do anything to Mu Qiqi. He didn't dare to offend her and he didn't know where to find Feng Xianxian. His life in school was so difficult now that he had been targeted by many people. Therefore, he could only go home and ask his brother for help. Xingzhao's car drove for a distance. At this moment, Xingzhao said quietly, How dare you offend the brother of a criminal? Aren't you afraid of being plotted against? I believe in justice and justice. You believe in it and still want to take revenge on Feng Xianxian. Only I can understand this, Xingzhao said coldly. Don't go anywhere alone for a period of time. Even if you don't say it, I've never been alone except in school, Mu Qiqi quickly said. Are you that obedient? I'm that obedient. Xingzhao took the opportunity to pinch her chin. You're pretending to be obedient while causing trouble. I'm just relying on your love. Do you want me to be afraid of everything in order to avoid danger? I promised you that I would cherish my life. I'm not just saying that for nothing, but that doesn't mean that I don't have the courage to face danger. Xingzhao felt that this thing's eloquence was getting better and better. He let go of her chin. You can come up with all kinds of fallacies. Chapter 7:15. You're heartless. There are only a few people I care about. I can't just watch Feng Xianxian get bullied. Xiao, I didn't mean to drag you down. Mu Qiqi suddenly put on a serious look. Xingzhao was not used to it. Drag you down? Every time something like this happens to me, don't you investigate the other party's ancestors and guard against all kinds of dangers for me? Don't think I don't know. I remember it all. Mu Qiqi lay on Xing Zhao's legs and acted coquettishly. Xing Xiao was speechless. He pretended to be cold and let Mu Qiqi go. Anyway, what she said was the truth. However, when they reached the door, Mu Qiqi suddenly pulled Xing Zhao's arm and whispered to him, "Can you not go home tonight? I quite like the floor-to-ceiling glass in your office." Xing Xiao instantly understood the hidden meaning in her words. After a few seconds of silence, he said to Su Che, "You can get off work." Su Che knew where they were going, so he nodded. "Then I'll go home first." Then Xing Xiao drove Mu Qiqi to Zhongting's office. It was indeed a little inconvenient for the couple to live with their parents. Even if Mu Qiqi wanted to do something wild with her man, she had to take care of the two old people at home. Only in Xing Zhao's office could she do whatever she wanted without any scruples. In the spacious office, there was no need for any lights because the lights of the entire city were enough for the two of them to see each other clearly. And in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass, Xing Xiao was deeply satisfied with this little one. "Do you still miss this glass?" Mu Qiqi endured the force and felt that she almost went crazy in this flickering space. "The person I'm thinking about all the time is you." Mu Qiqi answered with difficulty. On the other hand, Feng Xianxian had already packed everything at home and was waiting to move into her new house. Tang Yan had not gone back to work yet. Perhaps he wanted to ensure her safety before she moved. However, Feng Xianxian felt that she did not need it. "You're the leader of the criminal investigation team and the captain of the criminal investigation team. Now you don't even care about the case because of love?" Late at night, Feng Xianxian saw Tang Yan sitting on the balcony smoking. She walked behind him and leaned on his back. "This is the first time I've seen you smoking. Someone gave it to me. It's a pity not to smoke it." "I'm not addicted," Tang Yan replied. "I know you're not addicted. However, the way this man smoked was too sexy. Just imagine, a man with a perfect figure topless sitting on the balcony smoking. How handsome and tangible was that?" "There haven't been any major cases in the bureau recently. Old Cheng and the others will handle the ordinary ones." "Chief, do you know that that person has been released?" "I know." Tang Yan blew out the last smoke ring and put out the cigarette butt. "But it's useless even if you know. If he doesn't commit any more crimes, no one can convict him. Then, is he really that fierce?" Hearing this question, Tang Yan turned around and pulled Feng Xianxian into his arms. "It's not the right time to talk." "Then, what is suitable?" "Perfect for kissing." After saying that, Tang Yan kissed her. The kiss was earth-shattering. Soon the two of them had an idea on the chair. Without waiting for them to enter the room, the two of them directly sat on the table as big as they wanted to be. It was as if this was the only way Tang Yan could be sure that this woman was still alive by his side. In the middle of the night, the women could not stand the torture and fell asleep. At this time, the worried men were on the phone. Every time Mu Qiqi was in danger, Xing Xiao would first investigate the other party before making arrangements. This was because he had always understood the principle of knowing yourself and your enemy, and you would always be victorious. "Xing. It seems that Captain Tang has guessed it. I'll call you," Xing Xiao said in a low voice as he stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window in his office. "You care about Mu Qiqi so much. There's no need to think about this kind of thing," Tang Yan replied as he sat on the sofa. "I want to know about Qing Bin's situation." Xing Xiao went straight to the point. "In return, I'll include Feng Xianxian in my protection range." Deal. Tang Yan seemed to have predicted this call from Xing Xiao. Moreover, he had also thought of a bargaining chip for their cooperation. It shouldn't be difficult for them to protect their respective women, right? It was only a few days before the old man's birthday. Mu Qiqi did not seem to care about it. No one knew if she had prepared a gift for the old man. In fact, old Master Xing did not have any special requirements for his children and grandchildren to give him anything. His main wish this time was for Xing Bowen to bring Rin Yufei to his house for a meal. When Xing Bowen heard this request, he was naturally very satisfied. However, during breakfast he still couldn't help but reveal a spoiler to the old man. "I heard that eighth brother has given Mu Qiqi a difficult problem. He asked her to prepare a birthday gift for you and make you like it. I wonder how Xiaoqi's preparations are going." When old Master Xing heard this, his eyes were filled with anticipation. However, in front of others he still pretended to snort coldly. She's someone who always makes me angry and makes me seethe with anger. What do you expect her to give me? I don't believe it. Grandpa doesn't believe that Xiaoqi can deliver the gift to your heart. It's not that I don't believe it, but I don't think it's possible because this girl doesn't understand me at all. Even the few of you don't know what I like. Although the old man said that, he did not think that way in his heart. In the past he hated Muchichi so much, but now the person he talked about the most was Muchichi. Muchichi's position in his heart had surpassed Xing Zhao's. He thought that others couldn't tell. Of course, Xing Bowen did not expose him. This old man was becoming more and more duplicitous. He still refused to admit it. Let's see what kind of surprise Xiaoqi would give this old man. After work, Xing Bowen confirmed with Rin Yufei again that she would attend the old man's birthday with him that day. Rin Yufei had already agreed several times, but she could not withstand Xing Bowen's repeated inquiries. However, for the past few days, she had been having a premonition that her every move was being monitored. For example, when she and Xing Bowen went to the airport to send Xing Minglan and Hu Jinyao off, she noticed that someone was following them. In the past few days the premonition had become stronger and stronger. Could it be Hu Ran? Rin Yufei took a deep breath and then denied her thoughts. She felt that this kind of stalking did not seem like the kind of quarrel between women. Chapter 7:16. Hu Ran did not stop following Rin Yufei and Gu Xiling, but she did not cause trouble for Rin Yufei either. She was waiting for news at home. Based on Xing Kai and Gu Xiling's personalities, she had a feeling that they would find her sooner or later. Papa Hu passed by his daughter's room after work. When he saw that Hu Ran was still talking to the detective, he sighed helplessly. Sometimes he did not understand what Hu Ran was thinking about. However, it was at this moment that Hu Ran received a call from an unknown number. From the moment she picked up, she was almost certain of the other party's identity. It was Gu Xiling. Do you have time for a cup of coffee tonight? Because I see that you seem to be very distressed recently. Did you call the wrong number? This is the Hu family. You know who I am without asking for my name. Hu Ran, and you still say that you don't know that we sent people to follow Xing Bowen? Didn't you also send people to follow him and that vixen? It had been a long time since she heard this voice. It was because Xing Kai and Gu Xiling had been dealt with so harshly that they shouldn't have wanted to cause trouble again. However, judging from the current situation, these two people were most likely going to take revenge on the Xing family. You and Xing Bowen are divorced, but you still care so much about him. Why? Shut up. Hu Ran berated loudly. Are you just going to watch Xing Bowen and that vixen get together? As if she had been stabbed in the heart, Hu Ran's voice was mixed with anger. Tell me, where do we meet? Soon the two of them agreed on a time and place to meet. However, Hu Ran still wanted to go out so late at night, which made Papa Hu very worried. Xiao Ran, didn't you listen to what Dad said at all? Dad, I know what I'm doing, Hu Ran said calmly. I don't know when I'll be back tonight. Don't leave the lights on for me. Papa Hu sighed. He felt that this was a completely different person from the obedient daughter he used to know. On the other side, after Xianxia suffered a setback, he went home to look for his brother, Bin, who had just been released from prison. When Bin found out, he kicked his brother. His expression was very fierce, especially the scar on his forehead, which looked even more ferocious. Who told you to think you're smart? Did I ask you to take revenge for me? Do you think you can make me feel good just because you took it out on a woman? Stupid thing, what I want is Tang Yan's life. If you attack his woman, you'll alert him. How am I going to find a chance to kill him in the future? Xianxia lay on the ground innocently, holding his head. Brother, I'm just a criminal. What right do I have to be your brother? You'd better get lost. Also, don't get involved in my business in the future. What I do is to kill people. Do you have the guts to do that? Xianxia shrunk his head. Of course he didn't have the guts. Since you don't have the guts, then scram. Tomorrow I will personally go to the police station to apologize to Tang Yan. Before I am ready, I must not be suspected by this person. I really have a good brother taking it out on women. In front of Bin, Xianxia was terrified and in awe. However, because of their blood relationship, he wanted to get close to him. However, Bin had the aura of a pugilistic world, so Xianxia did not dare to get too close to him. Go back. This isn't a place you should be in. Brother, I can't stay in school anymore. That's none of my business. Xianxia's crying was really asking for a beating in front of Xingbin. The most hateful thing was that he had to go to the police station to apologize. There were few customers in the cafe at night. It was also because of the cold that the surroundings looked very deserted. At this moment Hu Ran and Gu Xiling were sitting face to face. They used to be sworn enemies, but now the two of them could actually look at each other calmly. I still remember your honey and your glass shards. Don't tell me you've forgotten about them? Gu Xiling looked at Hu Ran carefully and suddenly laughed. Hu Ran, those are all in the past. Can't you care about what's happening now? Think about it. If it weren't for you, Xingbin wouldn't have been able to sit in the position of CEO. You two went through thick and thin together, but now Xingbin. Gu Xiling still looked so annoying. Her nature hadn't changed at all. Hu Ran did not say anything. She just picked up the coffee cup and took a sip. Think about it. How long has it been since your divorce? Xingbin has found a new lover, and it's the little vixen that Xing Kai sent to him. Aren't you angry at all? You said so much. What exactly do you want? Hu Ran asked Gu Xiling in return. You asked me to have coffee just to say how heartless Xingbin is? Don't you think that everyone in the Xing family deserves to die? After hearing Gu Xiling's words, Hu Ran suddenly laughed. You want to drag me along with you to take revenge on the Xing family? Am I right? You knew that I was following Xingbin, but you didn't tell him. It's enough to show that you hate him. What do you want to do? It won't make things difficult for you. Gu Xiling smiled meaningfully at Hu Ran. We just want to arrange a prank for Huang Yao. But because Xing Kai's people have been completely removed from Huang Yao, I need you. After meeting Gu Xiling, it was already 10 o'clock at night. Hu Ran left the cafe. On the way back she kept thinking about whether she should remind Xingbin now. However, if Xingbin was on guard and Gu Xiling became suspicious of her, wouldn't Xingbin fall into a trap if someone else did something else? So she couldn't say it now. Of course, Xing Kai also suspected that Hu Ran would ruin it. So, on the way back with Gu Xiling, he asked her, do you trust her that much? We're just asking her for a small favor. She doesn't know our real intention. So what's there to be afraid of? Moreover, I've said that I'm playing a prank on Xingbin. She hates Xingbin and will definitely take the bait. Most importantly, if she can't do it, I'll arrange for someone else to prepare a surprise for the old man at his birthday party. Kai, you've been hiding for so long. It's time for you to see the light of day. Did Gu Xiling think that Xing Kai could be like Xing Xiao? Xing Xiao had been hiding for half a year and founded Zhongting. But could Xing Kai? No matter what, the husband and wife were quite confident. Xing Kai felt that the day of the old man's birthday party would be the day of his return. Late at night, Mu Qiqi locked herself in the study. She was secretly preparing a birthday gift for the old man. No one knew what she was up to. Chapter 7:17. She didn't even put in so much effort for his birthday. Now for the old man she was completely devoted. Even though he knew that he was the one who gave the order and had no right to be angry, he still silently drank a bottle of vinegar in his heart. Half an hour later, Mu Qiqi came out of the study and saw Xing Xiao sitting on the bed reading documents. She leaned on him and said, "You ignored me the whole night. You're so busy. Do you need me to take care of you?" When Mu Qiqi heard that, she deliberately sniffed him a few times. "Why do I smell something sour?" Third brother has already spoken. If I don't show some sincerity, I will definitely be laughed at. Moreover, this matter was originally done by you, so you have no right to be jealous. Did I say that I'm jealous? Xing Xiao looked up and asked with a fake smile. Yes. Mu Qiqi nodded affirmatively. I can smell your sourness from 5 kilometers away. You smelled it wrong. With that, Xing Xiao put down the document and lay down, looking like he was about to sleep. Mu Qiqi rode on top of him. Is it so hard to admit that you're jealous? Xing Xiao was not in a hurry even though she was sitting on him. He just put his hands behind his head and said slowly, "When you had a crush on me, you didn't dare to ride on me like this. It's because I'm riding a tiger and I can't back down. Just like now, I'm afraid of embarrassing you." Xing Xiao grabbed her and sat up. He pressed her on his lap and spanked her butt. Lawless. Mu Qiqi's eyes were filled with tears. She couldn't fight back. You're jealous, but you won't admit it. I asked you to prepare a gift and you're so happy. Mu Qiqi quickly crawled under the covers and hugged him. Although I'm very happy that you're jealous of me, is it necessary for you to do it for the old man? The next morning, Tang Yan was still at home when he received a call from the bureau. Captain Tang, come back for a while. Someone named Qing Bin came to look for you and said that he wants to apologize to you. Tang Yan's expression changed slightly when he heard Qing Bin's name. Let him go back. There's no need. We told him that, but he insisted that he wouldn't leave the police station until he saw him. Old Qing answered awkwardly. Tang Yan was silent for a few seconds and nodded. I'll be right back. What kind of trick was Qing Bin playing? To ensure Feng Xianxian's safety, Tang Yan planned to bring her along. You can go by yourself. Why do you need me to follow you? Qing Bin has appeared. I'm afraid that he will use some tricks to lure us away, Tang Yan explained calmly. After Feng Xianxian heard this, she stopped talking and leaned against the car to rest. She was clearly not awake yet, but she was forcefully dragged out of bed by this man. However, thinking that he was worried, Feng Xianxian did not complain anymore. Soon the off-road vehicle entered the parking lot of the police station. Tang Yan said to Feng Xianxian, "Wait for me in the car. I'll be right out." Feng Xianxian did not refute and leaned against the car quietly. Tang Yan went straight to the reception area of the police station. Qing Bin was strong and no longer as fat as before. There was a scar on his forehead, probably caused by a fight with others in prison. He should have looked fierce, but he had a warm smile on his face and was respectful to everyone. "Officer Tang, I finally met you, Officer Tang." The group of people did not know what was going on. They all stood to the side and watched the show. "Why are you looking for me?" Tang Yan was used to being cold. He walked up to Qing Bin. After all, he did not regret what he did 5 or 6 years ago. "I'm here to apologize on behalf of my brother." Qing Bin appeared very obedient. "I didn't know that he actually vented his anger on your girlfriend and even caused her to be expelled from the school. These are all matters of the past. I can feel your sincerity. If there's nothing else, you can go back quickly." Tang Yan was still indifferent. This made old Qing and the others around him anxious. With Captain Tang's conduct, why hadn't he been hacked to death yet? "Okay, I'll leave right away. I also want to be a good citizen now, Captain Tang. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done meritorious deeds in prison. I really want to turn over a new leaf. You did very well and you did the right thing." After hearing Tang Yan's praise, Qing Bin smiled as brightly as a child. "I don't touch that thing anymore. Captain Tang can arrest me at any time. I'm a criminal police officer now. I don't care about what happens there." Qing Bin nodded and placed the local specialties in front of everyone before turning to leave. However, when he entered the parking lot, he saw Tang Yan's car. Looks like that woman is really important to him. He actually brought her with him. Of course, Qing Bin did not stay for long. He drove the tattered second-hand car and left the police station. However, at this time the people from the branch office exploded. "Captain Tang, you were a narcotics officer before? Otherwise, why would such a criminal know you?" "No. That's strange." Senior Brother Long crossed his arms and thought. "Captain Tang, do you have any secrets that you're hiding from everyone?" "If there's nothing else, I'll continue my vacation." Tang Yan did not intend to reply to anyone's questions. These single dogs just like to be suspicious. Then Tang Yan returned to the car. Feng Xianxian quickly asked, "What's the result?" "The Qing Bin I saw today was like a completely different person. He used to be such a sinister person, but now he has a smile on his face when he sees everyone. It makes people unable to reach out to him." "Then what exactly does he mean?" "He came to tell me that he has changed his appearance. If it were someone else, I might choose to believe him, but what's wrong with him?" "He's just here to test me. I don't suspect him. This person used to be able to mix around with big shots at home and abroad. Do you think he doesn't know how to act?" Tang Yan asked. "Most importantly, he came out in 5 or 6 years of a 15-year sentence. 3 of his sentences were commuted, and all of them were meritorious services in prison. Such a person is not as useless as he looks on the surface." Feng Xianxian nodded. She did not dare to let down her guard against Qing Bin. After all, her life and Tang Yan's were tied together. She could not see any mistakes. "Perhaps you have to come into contact with such people often. Aren't you afraid?" Tang Yan asked curiously when he saw that Feng Xianxian did not say a word. "With you around," Feng Xianxian replied. "Sometimes I'm even glad that I don't have to study, because this way you can tie me to your belt and bring me with you at all times. Graduating from school and graduating through self-study are 2 different things. I've never seen anyone like you who doesn't care about having their lives ruined. Chapter 7:18. When Tang Yan heard this, he felt that the burden on his shoulders was even heavier. It was as if he was carrying Feng Xianxian's future on his shoulders. However, he felt that a man should bear the weight of two people. I won't let you regret it. Then charge forward. What's there to be afraid of? Feng Xianxian laughed heartily. They would be lovers for a day together. When danger came, they would face it together. For the whole day, Hu Ran was in deep thought. She sat in her courtyard and hardly went out. Late at night, Papa Hu entered the house exhausted. When he saw his daughter sitting in the courtyard, he walked up to her. Why aren't you sleeping yet? Dad, why have you been so late recently? Hu Ran asked Papa Hu. It's nothing. I'm just socializing. I'll go take a shower first and then chat with you. Hu Ran nodded. In fact, she felt a little guilty. During this period of time, she had focused all her attention on Xing Bowen, so she rarely cared about her father. If she hadn't seen him enter the door just now, she wouldn't have known how haggard he looked. Then she sighed and finally chose to call Ren Yufei. Secretary Ren, are you free? Let's meet now. On the other end of the line, Ren Yufei looked at the time. Because she didn't want Xing Bowen to know, she nodded and agreed. Tell me the time and place. Hu Ran said a few words to Ren Yufei, then hurriedly told Papa Hu and left the house. Papa Hu was a little helpless, but he didn't blame his daughter. After all, he only had this one treasure. Half an hour later, the two of them chose to meet at a coffee shop. Ren Yufei thought that Hu Ran must have come to lay her cards on the table, although she didn't know what Hu Ran's bottom line was. The first thing Hu Ran did after entering the door was silence, because she was struggling in her heart. Miss Hu, I want to know what you can do for Xing Bowen. Hu Ran leaned back on the chair and asked Ren Yufei directly. Swallow your anger, or take a slap in the face for him. Can you do that? Miss Hu, I don't want the relationship between the three of us to be complicated. I know that you and the CEO have gone through thick and thin together in the past, but if you've given up on him, please do it cleanly. He is not an object, he is a person. After hearing Ren Yufei's words, Hu Ran smiled. Didn't you try to seduce him too? But I've never hurt him and I won't in the future. I know my status is low and my words carry little weight. There's a limit to what I can do for the CEO. But as long as he needs me, I will do it. After Hu Ran heard this, she looked at Ren Yufei for a while and finally nodded. Now is the time for you to do something for him. Xing Kai wants to use me to deal with Xing Bowen and set him up. But because he's still worried about me, he didn't tell me what he's going to do in the end. What I need you to do is to intensify the conflict between us and make Xing Kai trust me. Only then can I know what he wants. This person is clearly back for revenge. First Xing Bowen, then Grandpa Xing, and even Xing Xiao and Muqiqi will be his targets. Of course, you can choose not to trust me. I trust you, Ren Yufei said without hesitation. Hu Ran was stunned for a moment and smiled. Do you know what I mean? I want you to deal with me, frame me, and even be misunderstood by Xing Bowen. Why do you trust me so much? I just want to ask, why are you still willing to help the CEO when you think he hurt you so much? You should be the same as Xing Kai. You should hate him. I've been sitting at home thinking about this question all day. Hu Ran shook the coffee cup in her hand and said, when I found out that you guys were together, I felt very uncomfortable, but that feeling was actually like when my stepmother stole my father. Later, Gu Xiling came to find me. At that moment, I only felt that my family was in danger again. I don't even remember how to be angry at you. My father was right. I've always treated Xing Bowen as a family member who has gone through thick and thin with me. I don't allow others to interfere with our special relationship. But now that I think about it, I'm only worried about him. I really don't hate him. Surprisingly, I don't hate you either. If I still lie to myself that it's love, then I'm probably really blind. After saying this, Hu Ran laughed to herself. He felt ridiculous. If it weren't for Dad, I might have really fallen for him. However, I helped him not because I'm great, but because Gu Xiling and her husband are really too annoying. No one can know that I'm looking for you tonight, especially Xing Bowen. He's not good at acting. I'm afraid that Xing Kai will see through it. If you believe me, then join forces with me. However, it's possible that you and Xing Bowen's future will be at stake. What's the point of liking someone? Don't you just want him to be well? Ren Yufei replied frankly, I believe you, but Miss Hu, if you use me and hurt the CEO, I'll fight you to the death. Hu Ran wanted to get up, but when she heard these words she was shocked. I've underestimated your feelings for Xing Bowen. After saying that, Hu Ran got up and left. She looked around to see if anyone was following behind her. After saying this to Ren Yufei, Hu Ran felt relaxed. Was it because the thorn had been pulled out? Perhaps it was because it had been too hard to pretend to be stupid for those 2 years, so she stuck close to Xing Bowen. Now that she thought about it, she almost made a mistake. It was precisely because she was too engrossed in her thoughts that Hu Ran almost hit a straight car when she turned a corner. In the darkness, the man in the car got out of the car and took a look. Then he knocked on Hu Ran's window and handed her a business card. Contact this person for compensation. You scratched my car. Then, the man left like a ghost. Hu Ran held the business card with lingering fear in her heart. She even thought that she had seen a ghost. The next day, Ren Yufei went to the Xing family early in the morning to fulfill her task as a special assistant and pick up Xing Bowen to work. This was because she knew very well that only by acting close to Xing Bowen could she anger Hu Ran. Why are you here? Xing Bowen was naturally as happy as a child. Since I'm a special assistant, I'm naturally here to pick you up, Ren Yufei answered very naturally. That's the right way to think. Usually Ren Yufei would let Xing Bowen go home by himself to avoid arousing suspicion. This treatment was really not easy. Have lunch with me at noon. I know a lover's restaurant with a very good environment. After hearing Ren Yufei's words, Xing Bowen felt flattered. Are you serious? Chapter 719. Not only that, but when the two of them entered the company, Ren Yufei did not avoid arousing suspicion. She followed closely behind Xing Bowen. Her left hand even unconsciously touched Xing Bowen's right hand. Xing Bowen turned to look at her and covered her palm. Do you want me to hold your hand? Ren Yufei's face instantly turned red. No, Xing Bowen chuckled. He did not let go of her. Instead, he held her hand even tighter. The surrounding employees had already seen the interaction between the two of them. Their eyes immediately widened. The president and secretary Ren? Am I seeing things? The two of them came to work hand in hand. When did the two of them get together? Xing Bowen did not care about the rumors. He brought Ren Yufei into the president's office, grabbed her in front of his legs and fixed her in place. Have you thought about it? Are you going to make our relationship public? Ren Yufei blushed and looked at Xing Bowen shyly. She nodded. Yes. Xing Bowen pulled her closer and smiled. Don't be afraid. I'll protect you. Okay, Ren Yufei replied in a voice as thin as a mosquito's silk. Oh. Ren Yufei's decision to make their relationship public was the first step to anger Hu Ran. The two of them had already made an agreement last night. I'll go out to work first. Call me if you need anything. Ren Yufei broke free from Xing Bowen's arms and turned to leave Xing Bowen's office. As soon as she went out, she was surrounded by her colleagues. News of the couple's relationship spread like wildfire. Soon, Hu Ran received a provocative phone call from Gu Xiling. Are you still sleeping at home? The two of them have already made their relationship public in the company. They don't care about you at all. What did you say? I said that adulterous couple ignored your existence and made their relationship public. Are you going to continue to endure it? Gu Xiling, if you're lying to me, we'll see. After saying that, Hu Ran hung up the phone and immediately left the house. On the other end of the phone, Gu Xiling smiled sinisterly. She wanted to see how Xing Bowen would deal with a woman whose heart was filled with hatred. Now, under Gu Xiling's grandfather's recommendation, Sheng Kai was working for a mysterious person. He would do anything for power. He only wanted to climb up. His goal was simple. He wanted to overthrow the Xing family and make old Xing pay the price. Then he would suffer for the rest of his life. As for Mu Qiqi, she was leaving her for Gu Xiling. She had said that she wanted Mu Qiqi to suffer a fate worse than death. We don't have much time. We have to hurry. Xing Kai reminded Gu Xiling. Don't let the show get in the way. I know what I'm doing, Gu Xiling replied. During this period of time, the two of them had been subservient to others, swallowing their anger and humiliation, just so that one day they could let the person who had humiliated them have a taste of this kind of living. Hu Ran arrived at Zhongting very quickly, looking very aggressive. As soon as the receptionist of Huang Yao saw Hu Ran, she quickly called the president's office. The person who answered the phone was naturally Ren Yufei. Secretary Ren, no, Special Assistant Ren, the former CEO's wife is here. I'll be right down, Ren Yufei replied calmly. A moment later she arrived at the entrance of Huang Yao. However, just as she walked out of the elevator, Hu Ran slapped her. Secretary Ren, your dream has come true. You've climbed into Xing Bowen's bed. Ren Yufei covered her cheek and looked at Hu Ran coldly. You two are not husband and wife. Moreover, you were the one who abandoned him and asked for a divorce first. Why? We're both unmarried. Why can't we be together? Bitch. Hu Ran scolded. You're a spy sent by Shen Kai. Who gave you the right to humiliate me? What's my identity? What's your identity? Shameless thing. I'm his girlfriend now. Whether you're willing or not, you have to accept this fact. I was being modest with that slap just now. However, if you dare to touch me again, I won't be willing to accept it. Is that so? After saying that, Hu Ran raised her hand again. However, Ren Yufei grabbed her wrist and gave her a backhand slap. Hu Ran was stunned. How dare you hit me? There's nothing I wouldn't dare to do. If you dare to humiliate me again. Ren Yufei looked at Hu Ran and said firmly, Security, this person has nothing to do with Huang Yao. Why aren't you throwing her out? The security guard stood at the door, feeling a little awkward. Don't forget, she's just the former wife of the president. Throw her out. Otherwise, you don't have to come to work tomorrow. After hearing this, the security guard went forward and held Hu Ran. I'm sorry, Miss Hu. Ren Yufei, you bitch. You seduced my husband. You'll die a horrible death. Hu Ran was blasted out. Many people saw it with their own eyes. A dignified young lady was actually humiliated like this. When passers-by saw this, they felt that Ren Yufei was really fierce. Hu Ran had no choice but to return to the car and drive away from Huang Yao. At this time, Gu Xiling, who was sitting in the cafe opposite Huang Yao and watching the show, called Hu Ran again. What's wrong? Are you still not giving up? Are you done? You keep calling me. I'm really tired of you. Gu Xiling, you're all scumbags, Hu Ran shouted into the phone. Hey, this grievance is really not a small one. Get lost. You'll come and beg me sooner or later. After saying that, Gu Xiling hung up. After that, Xing Bowen also found out what had happened in the hall. He also heard about Hu Ran and Ren Yufei slapping each other. Therefore, he immediately stopped what he was doing and went to the special assistant's seat. However, he saw that one side of Ren Yufei's face was red and swollen. Why didn't you tell me that she was here? She's here to vent her anger. When she does, it'll be balanced, Ren Yufei replied with a choked voice. I didn't want to make things difficult for you. That's something I didn't handle well. How can I let you take it on? Xing Bowen grabbed Ren Yufei's hand and pulled her into the office. When I'm free, I'll go and talk to her again. But if there's a next time, you can't go and see her alone without telling me. Ren Yufei looked at his anxious expression and sighed. If you're really doing this for my own good, promise me that you won't see her again. Otherwise, you'll keep pestering her. Then I'll have suffered this slap for nothing. Xing Bowen grabbed Ren Yufei's hand and was silent for a moment. After a long while, he said, I'm incompetent. No, it's Miss Hu who doesn't know her limits. I'll go find her father. Xing Bowen asked someone to find ice for Ren Yufei. Then he called Mu Qiqi. Xiaoqi, do you have time? Let's meet tonight. Chapter 720. After sending Ren Yufei home that night, Xing Bowen drove to the Banyan courtyard. When Mama Xing saw third brother, she treated him like her own son and took good care of him. Third brother, at your age, it's time for you to get married. Don't wait for eighth brother's child to grow up. You're still hanging on. Auntie eighth brother still has 2 more years. Xing Bowen smiled. Isn't Qiqi still in college? Eighth brother isn't your age. The two of them chatted in the living room. Soon Xing Bowen was called to the study by Mu Qiqi. Why are you looking for me? Xing Bowen sat in Xing Zhao's study. He really didn't have the chance to come here usually. Looking at Xing Zhao's table, he saw that Mu Qiqi's forensic books were on it. These two were so intimate even when they read. Have you found out about the leak of Huang Yao's design drawings? How do you know about this? Xing Bowen looked at Mu Qiqi in confusion. Mu Qiqi took out the information and handed it to Xing Bowen. Recently, Xiao Xiao asked Su Che to investigate a person named Qing Bin. He's a vicious criminal. He came out of prison for a few years and didn't come into contact with anyone except for a person named Third Master Long. This person has a lot of assets, including an accessory processing factory. The things that are being produced include the dazzling series of Huang Yao that hasn't been released yet. The information states that it's a copy of Huang Yao's drawings, so we know about it. After Xing Bowen heard Mu Qiqi's words, he quickly flipped through the drawings. This is a copy. But ever since the fake incident last time, I've completely cleaned up the people in Huang Yao. There can't be any spies. The leak of the drawings might not mean that they were betrayed. It's also possible that the other party is familiar with the internal affairs of Huang Yao and stole it. You're right. I'll call the police to deal with this matter, Xing Bowen said. We have to go through the legal channels. You're thinking too simply. Why did Third Master Long get the drawings? Is he familiar with the internal affairs of Huang Yao? Think about it. The biggest possibility is Xing Kai. Xing Bowen thought about it and felt that Xing Kai was the most suspicious. If it were someone else, they would not have the authority to do so and would not know about the loophole. This person has been playing more and more tricks recently. The reason why I asked you to come is not only to let you know about Xing Kai, but also to remind you that Qing Bin and Third Master Long's gang used to sell powder for a living. They did everything. If Xing Kai really wants to take revenge on you, he definitely won't just sell the designs. My reaction now might mean that I have fallen into Xing Kai's trap. So, Xiao and I think that you shouldn't look for Third Master Long. Avoid this person and delay the launch of the new product. Xing Bowen nodded. I know what to do. I've already told you what I came here for. Now it's your turn. Mu Qiqi packed up the documents and put them in the bookcase. What kind of relationship problems are you having again? Today, Yufei revealed our relationship. Not long after, Hu Ran came looking for me and caused a big scene with Yufei. I've told her everything I need to say. I don't know how to face her now. Xing Bowen said in distress. Do you have any way to get Hu Ran to stop pestering me? Tell me the whole story first, Mu Qiqi said to Xing Bowen. Actually, I don't know much either. When I got the news, Hu Ran had already been beaten up by Yufei. I went to ask her, but she said it was very simple. After spending some time, Xing Bowen explained the matter to Mu Qiqi from the morning. After Mu Qiqi heard it, she frowned and thought for a long time. What are you thinking about? Help me think of a way. I don't want to hurt Hu Ran, but I don't want her to disturb my life anymore. You want to take advantage of everything, but how can there be such a good thing in this world? Mu Qiqi smiled. It's not that I didn't help you think of a way. I just find it very strange. What's strange? Both women are very abnormal, Mu Qiqi replied. Of course, it might be my hunch that I'm wrong. Listen to my analysis for you. First, let's talk about Secretary Ren. She always didn't want the outside world to know about your relationship, and her attitude was very firm. But this morning she suddenly changed her mind. She even took the initiative to remind you to hold her hand and publicize your relationship. Second, how did Hu Ran get the news so quickly? Did she have a mole in the company? Or did someone deliberately remind her? Third, according to normal logic, when Hu Ran arrived at Huang Yao, Secretary Ren would go down to stop her. But is Hu Ran the kind of person who would turn around and leave after being slapped? Shouldn't she want to see you the most? This doesn't conform to a person's emotional logic. If Hu Ran was really that angry, she would have argued with you after being slapped, unless Secretary Ren's slap made her stupid. Hu Ran spent 2 years pretending to be a fool. It shows her endurance. She doesn't want to admit defeat. How could she be willing to be suppressed by a secretary? Of course, just think of it as my occupational disease. When I see 2 dogs fighting on the side of the road, I have to analyze who attacked first. I just think it's a little strange. However, Xing Bowen felt that what Mu Qiqi said made sense. It's very ritualistic to slap each other like this. The most suspicious thing is that Secretary Ren downplayed it after the incident. As your girlfriend, I was slapped by your ex-wife. Even if I don't explode, I should at least be unhappy and aggrieved, right? After Xing Bowen heard this, he pushed Mu Qiqi's head. You're becoming more and more like a police officer analyzing a case. I think it's a little strange that you're analyzing it like this. When I figure out what the 2 women are doing, I'll come back for help. Can't you use your own brain? You'll be my lousy advisor for the rest of your life. Don't even think about running away. After saying that, Xing Bowen got up from the sofa. I'm going home. Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. She couldn't afford to offend him. Go, hurry up. Grandpa's birthday is coming soon. If this matter really has something to do with Xing Kai, I'm afraid that he has ulterior motives and might cause a big storm. By the way, have you prepared a gift for Grandpa? If it weren't for your big mouth, I wouldn't have to suffer like this. For the past few days, a certain someone had been getting jealous. Everyone is waiting to see if Mu Qiqi, who has received 8th brother's teachings, can handle this matter well. He's still pretending to be smart. Mu Qiqi wanted to curse, but at this moment, a certain someone entered the study with a cold aura. Chapter 721. Xiao, 3rd brother said that you're like a rock in a cesspool. In the next second, Xing Bowen was thrown out of the study, leaving only Xing Zhao's warning in his ears. You're not allowed to enter this place from now on. Xing Bowen rubbed his nose. Although he had suffered in front of Xing Xiao, there was nothing he could do. Although this king of hell was his younger brother, no one could afford to offend him. When Mu Qiqi saw this, she immediately laughed out loud. However, in the next second, Xing Xiao grabbed her legs and slapped her butt. Who allowed you to let him in? Didn't you ask me to talk to him about something? You can't talk downstairs? Of course I can, but didn't you specifically tell me not to talk in the study? Mu Qiqi felt wronged. Tomorrow I'll get someone to move the sofa he sat on out and throw it away. Recently, because of Mu Qiqi's birthday gift for the old man, this old man had started to be paranoid. No matter who it was, as long as it was a man or a male, he would despise them if they got close to Mu Qiqi. What's wrong with the sofa? The sofa is pretty good. You're just unreasonable. Can't you remember what we did on that sofa? Mu Qiqi's face immediately turned red. This man probably felt that his private space had been broken into and was unhappy. I know. Change to a more comfortable one that suits your height. Mu Qiqi quickly admitted defeat. You're not angry now, are you? Have you explained everything to him? Xing Xiao calmed down and picked her up, letting her sit on his lap. I've made it clear. I've also instructed him not to look for that 3rd master long. Those who have been in the underworld have lived a life of danger. They won't let him go just because he's a member of the Xing family. Have you found out what kind of shady business Xing Kai is up to? Yes, 3rd master long, he should be preparing a birthday gift. Xing Xiao replied. Let him come. I also want to see if he can improve after hiding for so long. He can use those dangerous people and play such a big game of chess. I just hope he won't disappoint me. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Zhao's neck and laughed heartily. By the way, do you know that Feng Xianxian has moved in too? Xing Xiao said nothing. Xing Xiao would pay close attention to everything within a 5-mile radius of the Banyan courtyard. How could he not know that Feng Xianxian and Tang Yan had moved in? However, even if Feng Xianxian didn't mention it, he knew about it because he and Tang Yan had already reached a consensus to cooperate. Since you knew, why didn't you tell me? Is there anything in the world that you don't know? There's one thing. I still don't know what you're going to give her, Xing Xiao replied. Mu Qiqi snickered. I can't tell you. Anyway, you've already drunk a few buckets of vinegar in the past few days. Do you care about drinking for a few more days? Xing Xiao flipped over and pressed her down on the sofa. He directly lifted her pajamas. Look at how arrogant you've been recently. Are you waiting for me to teach you a lesson? Yeah, I'm waiting, Mu Qiqi said fearlessly. Since you have such a request, of course I will satisfy you. After saying that, Mu Qiqi saw the man unbuttoning his shirt, revealing his firm and beautiful chest muscles. Then, she felt her mind go blank, unable to contain anything else. After Xing Bowen returned home, he sat at home and thought about the strangeness of the two women for a long time. Speaking of which, it was a fight between love rivals, but it was indeed inconsistent with their personalities. What kind of game were they playing? Unable to figure it out, Xing Bowen took out his phone and sent a text message to Ren Yufei. Are you asleep? Not yet. I'm working overtime, Ren Yufei replied quickly. Do I give you that much work? Xing Bowen expressed his doubt. Hurry up and go to sleep. Don't do it anymore. At most I'll do it myself tomorrow. What kind of CEO makes his own schedule? Ren Yufei said helplessly. Why aren't you sleeping yet? Thinking about things and also, you. When Ren Yufei saw the last 3 words, her heart began to race. You don't usually say such things. That's because I now believe that when I meet someone I like, I'll be able to figure it out on my own. Xing Bowen put down his phone and suddenly had an impulse. I still have to continue working overtime. Then do you want to eat supper? Ren Yufei looked down from the apartment. It was already late at night. Where would anyone be selling it? I don't want anything, Mr. Su. I just want you to go to sleep quickly. Xing Bowen did not continue. There was no movement for a long time, but just when Ren Yufei thought that he had fallen asleep, he suddenly called. Come down. Huh. I'm here to deliver supper to you. Ren Yufei quickly put on her coat and went downstairs. She saw Xing Bowen leaning against the car with supper in his hand. Why did you come personally? I'm worried about having someone deliver it to my door. Xing Bowen smiled and opened the car door. I went a long way to buy it. Do you want some? Why don't you come up? Ren Yufei pointed at her apartment and said, It's so cold down there. Isn't that my goal? Xing Bowen did not hold back at all. He locked the car and followed behind Ren Yufei. Ren Yufei still blushed. She turned around unnaturally and said to Xing Bowen, You've changed. He was no longer the Xing Bowen who was very indifferent when it came to relationships. When Xing Bowen heard this, the corners of his mouth naturally curled up. Of course, he had to keep the little notebook that taught people how to fall in love in his arms. He had specially searched for it online. Soon, the two of them arrived at the door of Ren Yufei's apartment. Ren Yufei took out a brand new pair of slippers and placed them in front of Xing Bowen. Come in. Xing Bowen changed his shoes and entered the door. He could not help but look around. It was a small bedroom with a warm beige color. It was filled with the soft scent of a woman, making people feel very comfortable. My house is very simple. I like it very much. Xing Bowen sat down at the dining table and put down the supper in his hand. Bring out the documents. I'll help you. Then you can tell me what to do while you eat. Big Xiao, did you come here just to be my assistant's assistant? I just want you to rest early. Ren Yufei did not stand on ceremony. For now, Xing Bowen was the boyfriend she could rely on. So she went to the room and brought out all the company's documents. I'm still sorting them out, but you'll need them tomorrow. You have to work so late every day? Ren Yufei opened the packaging of the supper and shook her head. Not really, that's it. Xing Bowen snorted. Why don't you slack off? Now I've even given you a secretary. Chapter 722. I don't feel at ease leaving my matters to others, Xing Bowen replied. But I can't bear to let you do so many things, so I think, if I'm free, I'll try my best to help you. You're up to no good. Ren Yufei glared at Xing Bowen as she ate. After Xing Bowen finished laughing, he also thought of Mu Qiqi's suspicions, so he asked Ren Yufei, Yufei, huh? After thinking about what happened between you and who ran today, I still feel that something is very wrong. Can you tell me why you put on that show? After Ren Yufei heard this, she stopped what she was doing and hesitated for a few seconds. What show? Although I don't know what happened and you have to hide it from me, I guess the situation must be very serious. Recently, Eighth Brother has been investigating a man named Qing Bin and also found out who Huang Yao's new product was leaked to. We feel that this matter has something to do with Shen Kai. If it's also related to him, then don't hide it from me. Ren Yufei was silent for a while and did not say anything. You still can't tell me? I have my reasons. Because once Xing Bowen found out about this, he would definitely not allow the two women to take the risk. Then do you want me to ask who ran? But I hope that you can tell me about this personally. Xing Bowen's tone was very gentle, but his attitude was very firm. Do you also think that I'm a man who can only hide under a woman's wings? Of course not, Ren Yufei quickly retorted. In my heart you're the best man. Then tell me what's going on. Don't forget that the Sheng family now has a female Zhuge. Qiqi can tell at a glance that there's something wrong between the two of you. Do you think you can successfully hide it from others? Ren Yufei took a deep breath. In the end, she still lost. Although what we did might seem a little stupid to you, this is the only thing we can do for you as women. After spending some time, Ren Yufei told Xing Bowen everything that had happened. Xing Bowen, on the other hand, became more and more silent. Am I that useless in your hearts? That's not it. We were just thinking that there's a shortcut. That's not a shortcut. That's working with the devil. You don't know when you'll fall into the abyss. I don't need you to pay such a price, Xing Bowen said to Ren Yufei firmly and unquestionably. But I also want to do something for you. Before she could finish her sentence, Xing Bowen grabbed Ren Yufei and pulled her onto his lap. Ren Yufei was stunned and felt her body start to heat up. I'm not so weak that I need you women to take the bullet for me. After saying that, Xing Bowen pinched Ren Yufei's chin and couldn't help kissing her. Ren Yufei's limbs were stiff, especially her hands. She had nowhere to put them. Seeing her like this, Xing Bowen felt that she was extremely cute. He couldn't help but close his eyes and deepen the kiss. Being kissed by someone you like, what kind of surprise is that? Ren Yufei felt as if her heart was about to jump out of her throat. However, this man still bit her lips and refused to let go. This kiss lasted for a long time. It was so long that both of them were used to each other's taste before Xing Bowen let go of Ren Yufei. It's so sweet. Xing Bowen sighed. What? The pastries you ate just now. Xing Bowen pointed at the corner of her mouth and said, I've taken all the documents back. You should rest early tonight. Xing Kai, you're not allowed to get involved in this matter anymore. I'll discuss it with eighth brother. I won't allow you two women to take the blame for me. Ren Yufei got up from Xing Bowen's body and nodded. I'll listen to you. Xing Bowen held the documents and kissed Ren Yufei on the forehead again. Only then did he leave quickly because he felt that he had a very primitive impulse as a male. Ren Yufei sent Xing Bowen off and closed the door. She looked at the supper on the table in a daze. She had never thought that she would be so happy. Especially when she thought of the long kiss just now. Ren Yufei quickly covered her face because she felt as if her entire body was burning. After Xing Bowen left Ren Yufei's apartment, he went to the Hu family's house. The butler brought Xing Bowen to the living room of the Hu family's house, which surprised Papa Hu. Third young master, why are you here? Uncle, is Hu Ran home? She's upstairs. I'll call her for you. After all, the two of them had broken up, so they should avoid arousing suspicion. After Papa Hu went up, Hu Ran came down soon after. This was the beginning of the discord between the two of them. This was the first time Xing Bowen took the initiative to look for Hu Ran. Seeing that the atmosphere between the two of them was a little strange, Papa Hu took the initiative to return to his room, leaving space for the two young people. Why are you looking for me? Are you here for your new girlfriend? Hu Ran crossed her arms and said to Xing Bowen with a proud attitude. Yufei told me everything. Xing Bowen looked at Hu Ran and answered. Everything. She really can't hold it in. It was Chi-Chi who saw through your acting, so do you think you can really hide it from Xing Kai? Xing Bowen asked Hu Ran in return. Xiao Ran, you have nothing to do with this matter. There's no need to get involved. It wasn't easy for you to drive your stepmother away. There's really no need for you to get involved in this mess. Hu Ran was silent after hearing this. After a long while, she raised her head and asked Xing Bowen, if you don't need my help, what do you plan to do? Do you look down on me that much that you have to stand up for me? That's not what I meant. I know that Xing Kai has been hiding for so long to come back for revenge, but I'm not so useless that I need a woman to protect me. Don't worry, I know how to plan this matter, but I really hope that you and Yufei, no matter which one of you, will not be involved in this anymore, because I will be very sad if I lose either of you. After hearing Xing Bowen's last sentence, Hu Ran was a little touched. I thought, you only remember how hateful I've been during this period of time. I used to regard you as the most important person. Even now, you're an irreplaceable family member and sister. Isn't it too not worth it to lose your sister for someone like Xing Kai? Hu Ran took a deep breath, sighed, and admitted defeat. I know what to do. I know. Don't do anything stupid anymore. It's getting late. In case Uncle is worried, I'll be leaving first. With that, Xing Bowen got up from the sofa. Hu Ran walked him out, but before he disappeared, she asked him a question. Do you really like the previous secretary? I'm serious. I understand. Hu Ran nodded. If you can get through this safely, I won't say anything. She's willing to do anything for you. Chapter 723. Although his enemies had come knocking on his door, Xing Bowen had made things clear in terms of his feelings. So he still felt very relaxed. Papa Hu was worried that his daughter would be wronged when he saw Xing Bowen leaving so quickly. He quickly went back to comfort her, only to see Hu Ran looking relaxed. Daughter, why did third young master come to see you so late at night? Dad, you don't have to worry about me pestering him in the future. We're family now. Hu Ran hugged Papa Hu's arm. You're right. There is no love between me and Xing Bowen. There is only family. So, from now on we will only be family and friends. Of course, I'm very happy that you think so. Don't worry. My daughter is so good. She will definitely meet the right person. Papa Hu patted the back of Hu Ran's hand. It was just that the Hu family had encountered a little trouble recently. Papa Hu did not tell Hu Ran because he was afraid that she would be worried. Hu Ran chatted with Papa Hu for a while. But before she went to bed, she received a call from an unknown number. Hu Ran, Miss Hu. Hu Ran was a little confused when she heard the magnetic voice. You are? My surname is Yen. I'm a lawyer. I haven't dealt with the matter of you scraping my car. Hu Ran immediately reacted. She remembered the ghostly figure she met last night and the man in the black trench coat. I'm really sorry. I'll get someone to deal with it tomorrow. I'll contact your lawyer. Please remember not to let others waste time on your mistake. After that, the other party hung up. Hu Ran did not even know how he got her phone number. The next morning, Hu Ran called the other party's lawyer to deal with the scraping incident. Because of this man's eerie call, she had nightmares for the whole night. Then she received a call from Gu Xiling. Let's meet today? Thinking of the agreement with Xing Bowen last night, Hu Ran nodded. Of course. She would settle things with Gu Xiling today. At the same time, she would get the person who wanted to threaten and use her out of her sight. But would it be that simple? Xing Kai's action was equivalent to connecting everyone together and getting rid of them in one fell swoop. But did he overestimate his ability? In order to solve Xing Kai's problem, Xing Bowen personally went to Zhongting and found Xiao. Then he told Xiao about how Xing Kai wanted to use the two women. Do you really think that he will count on Hu Ran? If that's the case, then he's even more stupid than before. Not to mention that Hu Ran can't be controlled. Even if he could, he wouldn't rely on a woman. So Hu Ran's step is just to disturb you. No matter what, I can't let two women shelter me from the wind and rain. Eighth brother, can we think of a way to seize the initiative? We don't know what second brother's goal is. Can we lure him into our trap? How do you want to do it? Xiao crossed his legs and asked Xing Bowen. First of all, we definitely can't follow Hu Ran's lead. It's too dangerous. Didn't Xing Kai leak the design of Huang Yao's new product to Third Master Long? I think I can follow this line, and it's also his most important line. As long as I go see Third Master Long. Do you know that Third Master Long is a gangster? Xiao asked him back. That's the only way to know what Xing Kai is up to, isn't it? That's the fastest way. You're probably crazy. Xiao retorted. Even I'm not confident and you still want to do it? It's precisely because everyone knows that you're smart and not easy to deceive that others will be on guard against you. But I'm different. I'll rely on my courage to go on stage and relax their guard. Maybe I can really succeed. I'll pretend that I don't know anything and bring people to cause trouble for Third Master Long. I'll see his reaction and act according to the situation. I don't agree. Eighth brother, do you want Grandpa to open his skull again? When the time comes, lend me your special assistant Su for a while. Xiao took a deep breath. He felt that he was probably crazy to be persuaded by Xing Bowen. I can't make a decision on this matter. I still have to find someone. Who else are you looking for? Xiao stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling glass and made a phone call. Xing Bowen did not know who he was calling. It was very rare for him to encounter something that even eighth brother found troublesome. In the past he had always ignored black and white and did not care about his family. Now he began to cherish his life. Soon Tang Yan arrived at Zhongting's office in a black jacket. When the women in the office saw such a tangible man, they all lost their composure. It was as if they had seen their own CEO. Mr. Tang, this way please. The secretary led Tang Yan into Xing Zhao's office. When Xing Bowen saw Tang Yan's figure and temperament, he remembered who he was. Why did you call me here? Tang Yan asked Xing Xiao directly. Qing Bin is in contact with Third Master Long, and Third Master Long is in contact with the traitor of the Xing family. Now Third Master Long and the traitor of the Xing family are planning to attack the Xing family, and this Qing Bin might be involved. Do you want to follow this line? Xing Xiao walked from the floor-to-ceiling window to the sofa and sat down. I called you here because I want to know who is more difficult to deal with, Third Master Long or Qing Bin. Of course it's Third Master Long, Tang Yan replied. Think about it. A few years ago I almost wiped them out, but Third Master Long didn't get involved. He cleaned himself up. Do you think such a person will be easy to deal with? After Xianxia heard this, he looked at Bowen. Did you hear that? But we can't just sit here and wait for death. What exactly happened? Tang Yan asked the two of them. Did they call them here just to ask about Third Master Long? This was obviously not Xiao's style of doing things. He was the swift and decisive type, so he would not waste time. Tell me it's someone you can trust. Xiao said directly to Bowen. Because he could see Bowen's concerns. After all, this was an internal secret of Huang Yao. Of course he could not reveal it to anyone. However, since Xiao trusted him, Bowen had no more worries. He directly told Tang Yan about the leak of the design drawings. Since it involves the scale, of course there's a professional here. Captain Tang, right? Xiao looked at Tang Yan and asked. Actually, although Third Young Master's plan is a little risky, it's not impossible to give it a try. I'll help you deal with the aftermath, Tang Yan said with a cold face. I also want to see how long these people want to hide. He had originally expected that they would seek revenge on him, but this group of people had not taken action. What were they waiting for? Chapter 724. Then, let's settle this matter because I have to meet an old friend next. Bowen smiled at Xiao and Tang Yan. The two of them glanced at him. They did not know what he was up to, and of course they were not interested in knowing. On the other side, Hu Ran and Gu Xiling met at the cafe again. This time Hu Ran was much calmer than the last time they met. She drank her coffee leisurely, and there was no trace of panic in her expression. Gu Xiling observed her for a while. Suddenly she did not know what this woman was thinking. From the looks of it, you don't seem to be angry with Bowen anymore? No matter how angry I am, I shouldn't be angry at you, Hu Ran replied. Bowen is heartless to you. Even I, the former second sister-in-law, can't stand it. You are the daughter of the Hu family after all. He actually found a secretary to humiliate you. If I were you, I would not be willing to accept it. Gu Xiling still insisted on sowing discord. Moreover, Hu Ran, you probably don't know that your Hu family has been in trouble recently, right? What do you mean? Hu Ran suddenly became nervous. I mean, your father really cares for you. He only reports the good news to you and not the bad news. Your Hu family is now facing a huge funding gap. This is all because of the negative consequences after Bowen announced his divorce with you that day, Gu Xiling said to Hu Ran casually. After Hu Ran heard this, she stood up. Since you already know, why did you only tell me now? I have no reason to tell you. Gu Xiling shrugged. It was Bowen who caused your Hu family to become like this. Hu Ran calmed down and sat back on the chair. So, what do you want me to do? I can help you take revenge, but I want to make sure that your heart completely belongs to us. Think about it. Not only did Bowen dump you, but he also harmed your Hu family. How long can your father last? What you said makes sense. Hu Ran nodded and looked at the coffee cup in her hand. But I also have some questions to ask you. Gu Xiling saw that it was difficult to control Hu Ran's thoughts, so she sighed and lost her patience. Ask away. Who was it that gave you the courage to seek an alliance with me? I should say, who gave you the courage to think that you can use me and control me? Hu Ran played with the cup in her hand and asked. Bowen has already treated you like this. Can you still tolerate it? After hearing Gu Xiling's words, Hu Ran finally laughed. Gu Xiling, aren't you being too full of yourself? Why can't you get rid of this bad habit of yours? Gu Xiling's face darkened. I know that you and Kai hate the Xing family, Bowen and Xiao. But you can just take revenge on them. Why are you looking for me? I know the reason. It's because you can't do anything to the Xing family, so you came to me. Xiao is too smart. You can't even touch a hair of his. So you vented your anger on Bowen, right? Gu Xiling's expression could no longer be described as ugly. It was as if her reverse scale had been touched. It's not just Xiao. You can't even do anything to Mu Qiqi. No, it should be that you've always regarded Mu Qiqi as your opponent, but Mu Qiqi has never taken you seriously. Because in her eyes you're not qualified at all. Since ancient times, the winner has always been the king and the loser has always been the villain. You've already lost once. If you make a comeback, you'll only lose again. Hu Ran. Gu Xiling became angry from embarrassment and scolded in a low voice. I've hit the nail on the head, haven't I? Hu Ran laughed. How about this? In order to give you a better experience of revenge, I've called someone for you. I think you two can sit down and talk face to face. There's no need for me to be the middleman and be in a dilemma." After saying that, Hu Ran glanced out of the coffee shop. Xing Bowen received a reminder and went straight into the coffee shop with Ren Yufei. He walked in front of Hu Ran and Mu Qiqi. When Gu Xiling saw this, she immediately knew that she had been tricked by Hu Ran. "Why are you so useless? Your man has been snatched away and now you're still throwing yourself at him. Gu Xiling, I've tolerated you for a long time. Do you know that your way of sowing discord is really annoying? This is the first time I've seen someone be so shameless after being caught red-handed." Xing Bowen interrupted in front of the two of them. "Miss Gu, you don't have to worry about the matter between me and the Hu family. You should save your energy to fix your IQ. Doing this kind of thing all day is detrimental to your virtue. No wonder you can't have children in this life." Gu Xiling glared at the three of them, especially Hu Ran. Then she got up from the sofa angrily. "You'd better remember how your Hu family ended up in this state." Hu Ran did not respond to this woman, a woman who kept chattering in other people's ears every day. On the other hand, when Gu Xiling left, third brother said to her, "Second sister-in-law, if you need anything next time, come to me directly. I'll let you see my progress. Just you wait and see. Akai won't let you off." She was quite confident. Xing Bowen did not continue to respond. After Gu Xiling left, he asked Hu Ran, "Are you all right?" Hu Ran shook her head and kept the matter of the Hu family a secret. If Gu Xiling was just spouting nonsense, wouldn't she cause a big commotion again? In the future, this woman probably won't have the face to look for you again. After all, you've embarrassed her so much today. "I hope so," Hu Ran answered absent-mindedly. She was afraid that the two of them would become even worse. However, even so, she still had to go home and figure out the whole story. "Third brother, I suddenly remembered that I have something else to do. Let's talk about it another day." After saying that, Hu Ran left the coffee shop and quickly drove home. Xing Bowen was very puzzled and turned to look at Ren Yufei. Ren Yufei also felt that it was very strange. "Why don't you call again and ask?" If she was willing to tell me, she wouldn't have left without saying a word just now. Xing Bowen was afraid that Gu Xiling would use other dirty tricks to coerce Hu Ran to be obedient with these two scumbags. Therefore, on the way back, he said to Ren Yufei, "Try your best to understand the Hu family's situation." Ren Yufei nodded and replied. Xing Bowen was a little puzzled when he saw her agree so quickly. "Aren't jealous? This is business. Why should I be jealous?" Ren Yufei answered very calmly. "It's good that you're not jealous. Then I'll send you supper tonight." Chapter 725. Hu Ran did not go home. Instead, she went to her father's company. When the people from the Hu family saw that it was their young miss, they did not dare to stop her. They led her directly into Papa Hu's office. Papa Hu was in a terrible situation. When he saw his daughter, he naturally relaxed and asked her, "You never come to the company. What happened?" "Something happened to the Hu family, right?" Hu Ran asked Papa Hu directly. After hearing this question, Papa Hu subconsciously turned his face away. "Dad, just tell me. I'm also a member of the Hu family. Moreover, I want to know if this has anything to do with Xing Bowen. Is it because he asked for a divorce?" "Of course not," Papa Hu quickly explained. "Who told you that? How could the blood, sweat and tears of your father's entire life be ruined just because of your marriage? Isn't this too absurd?" "It's Gu Xiling. She knows that the Hu family is in trouble, so she came to bewitch me to deal with Xing Bowen. Dad, she told me that the Hu family is in this situation today because Xing Bowen publicized the news of our divorce." "What a load of nonsense." Papa Hu slammed the desk angrily. "I was wondering why the bank didn't approve a few transactions recently. After you reminded me, I remembered that the Gu family has such a bank manager. It turns out that the Gu family is trying to sow discord in front of you and force you to deal with the third young master. So, the Hu family was not caused by third young master but by the Gu family. If it weren't for them, how could I be short of funds?" After Hu Ran heard this, she understood what Papa Hu meant. "Dad, I understand. Don't worry, I won't be bewitched by those scumbags and I won't do anything to hurt you." Papa Hu hugged his daughter and took a deep breath. "Daughter, I've been fighting in the business world for most of my life. I've seen all kinds of scenes. Do you still remember? When you were in your teens, Dad's first business failed and we were even on the streets. At most, I'll start all over again. Papa, whose mentality was very good and he knew his place. However, Hu Ran's heart ached for her father. She did not want to let Gu Xiling and her husband be happy. However, she couldn't bring herself to ask for help from Xing Bowen. Dad, no matter what, I will always be by your side. Although the father and daughter were in danger, they still relied on each other. It had been a long time since Hu Ran leaned on her father's shoulder like this. Late at night, Ren Yufei went home with the documents that she urgently needed to deal with. When she thought about how Xing Bowen had deliberately left her so much work, she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was this man just trying to find an excuse to deliver supper? Ren Yufei used some of her connections to inquire about the Hu family. Late at night, her friend sent her a text message. The Hu family was currently facing a financial problem. Soon a bell rang in the house. Ren Yufei got up and opened the door. When she saw Xing Bowen entering the room with chicken soup in his hand, she glared at him and said, "You're too shameless." Xing Bowen put down the chicken soup and pulled Ren Yufei into his arms. "This is the only time I can hug you without any scruples and stay with you without any worries. Don't be in a hurry to hug me. Take a look at this first." Ren Yufei turned on her phone, flipped to the message and handed it to Xing Bowen. "I asked someone in the secretary circle to help me find out. It said that the Hu family has recently applied for several loans and hasn't been approved. They're now facing a big financial problem. Under normal circumstances, why would a bank do this when the business is operating well?" Xing Bowen was a little puzzled. Unless it's a malicious competition. Someone deliberately set a trap for the Hu family. No wonder Hu Ran was absent-minded when she left today. Maybe it has something to do with this matter. Then what do you plan to do? Xing Bowen hugged Ren Yufei and sat down on a chair. Then he looked into her eyes and said, "After I go back, I'll discuss it with Grandpa and see if I can help the Hu family get through this crisis first. However, I can't let Hu Ran know about this. Her pride is so strong that she definitely won't be able to accept it." "Since you've decided, I'll support you," Ren Yufei said as she hugged Xing Bowen's neck. "You said that you weren't looking forward to my arrival. Why is everything ready at home?" The men's shoes were taken off. There were 2 sets of cutlery and Ren Yufei's increasingly natural hug. "That's because I know that our Xiao is thick-skinned. I can't help it. When I see you, I want to kiss and hug you. I've been holding it in all day." After saying that, Xing Bowen pinched Ren Yufei's chin and kissed her very gently. Soon, Ren Yufei felt that someone's body had become stiff and hot. Don't worry about it." Xing Bowen reminded Ren Yufei and then bit her lips. "I just want to kiss you. I can't do anything else." After Ren Yufei heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. "You've eaten tofu, but you haven't finished the documents you brought home yesterday. Am I that shameless?" "Not tonight." After Xing Bowen said that, he continued to enjoy the intimate moment between the two of them. Late at night, Xing Bowen carried the documents home. When Old Master Xing saw this, he snorted coldly. "Who bit you? Why are you swollen after coming back for 2 days in a row?" "Grandpa, you're asking the obvious. By the way, Grandpa, there's something serious I want to discuss with you." Xing Bowen thought of the Hu family. After Old Master Xing heard this, he nodded. "Since I've handed Huang Yao over to you, you have the final say. I don't want to care about Huang Yao's matters now. I just want to spend my remaining years in peace. Then I'll get the lawyer to help the Hu family tomorrow in case someone hits them when they're down. I hope that the result of your good karma will be as you wish. My birthday is only a few days away. I still want to have a happy birthday banquet. With that clever Xiaoqi around, it's hard for you not to be happy." Old Master Xing wanted to save his life now. He wanted to see if he could wait until the day that wretched girl gave birth to 8th brother's child. Right now she was clearly still a wild girl who was unrestrained. "All right, since you and Secretary Ren have settled down now, find a time to settle the matter." Xing Bowen also wanted to, but the matter of 3rd Master Long suddenly flashed through his mind. Tomorrow he was going to meet him. Sheng Kai still wanted to hurt his family? Even if he agreed, 8th brother would not. Perhaps it was because someone was talking about them, so Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao sneezed at the same time. "Did you catch a cold?" Mu Qiqi immediately checked Xing Xiao's forehead. "No, I'm fine. Why did I sneeze?" "I was infected by you." Xing Xiao moved her hand away. Xianxia did not tell Muqiqi that Xing Bowen was about to meet Third Master Long. This was because he guessed that Xing Kai must have already planted a trap in another inconspicuous place. Third Master Long's trap was just to attract everyone's attention. Chapter 726. Xing Kai had taken advantage of the innocent Hu family when he was in power, which made Xing Xiao look down on him. Even though Hu Ran and Gu Xiling had once been at odds with each other, Papa Hu had never made things difficult for them. But now he wanted Papa Hu to pay the price for his daughter's past grudges. From the looks of it, Xing Kai was like a villain who would attack anyone he didn't like. "Xiao Xiao, what are you thinking about?" Muqiqi saw that Xing Xiao was suddenly silent, so she waved her hand in front of him. "Are you really sick?" "Some sick. Treat me now." With that, Xing Xiao carried Muqiqi horizontally and left the study. If Muqiqi knew that anything she said now would be linked to that kind of thing by this man, she would definitely avoid provoking him at night. His energy was so strong that it angered even the gods. Especially after the incident when she was so tired that she couldn't even lift a finger, the man could still bring her to take a shower in high spirits. Muqiqi could only lie in the bathtub and didn't even know when she fell asleep. Xing Xiao carried the sleeping person back to the bed and covered her with the blanket. Then he returned to the study and called Xing Bowen. Xing Bowen had just laid down and didn't expect to receive a call from eighth brother. "What's wrong? Tell me everything about the leak of Huang Yao's new product. Tell me everything from the beginning to the end. Don't leave out any of the people involved." "You found something new?" Xing Bowen immediately got up from the bed and went to the desk to get a pen and paper. "It's because there isn't. That's why I'm looking." Xing Bowen knew what Xing Zhao's brain was made of, so he didn't dare to be careless at all. He immediately began to recall and told Xing Xiao all the people and things involved. "When Qiqi told me about Third Master Long, the vice president of Huang Yao and I had already collected several batches of imitations from the outside. There were a total of 5 batches, all to track down the source of the leak. Those 5 batches of imitations are all in Huang Yao." "Yes." Xing Bowen was puzzled. "What's wrong? Get someone to bring out these 5 batches of imitations now. I'll come over immediately. Just the 2 of us, we'll check all 5 batches of imitations," Xing Xiao said. "Why would you suspect these imitations?" "I'm not suspecting these imitations. I just feel that Third Master Long's setting is too deliberate. If you go to Third Master Long, you will definitely become enemies with him. If Xing Kai wants to use Third Master Long to do something to you or the Xing family, it will be beyond his control. Third Master Long is not stupid and he will not be used by Xing Kai. Xing Kai seems to be doing this to divert your attention so that you can deal with Third Master Long with all your might. So I suspect that Xing Kai will set a trap for you elsewhere. So, we can't let go of anyone or anything that's involved. I'll call Yufei right away. Just inform her alone. Don't alert the vice presidents and the others," Xing Xiao instructed. "I understand." Xing Kai had set up a trap for Third Master Long while letting Gu Xiling sow discord between him and the Hu family. He was indeed trying to divert his attention. That was why Xing Xiao was suspicious. After hanging up, Xing Xiao put on his brown trench coat and prepared to leave. However, Muqiqi, who had woken up and could not find him, grabbed his arm. "Where are you going?" "I have something to do." Muqiqi lifted the blanket and got up. "I'll go with you." Xing Xiao frowned but did not object. After all, this little one was a forensic doctor. Her sense of smell and hearing were exceptionally good, so it was good to bring her along. "Change your clothes." When Muqiqi heard these words, she immediately laughed. "Wait for me. I'll be done soon." Soon the 2 of them drove out. However, on the way, Muqiqi peeked at Xing Zhao's side profile many times. "You know how to keep secrets in your heart now. I naturally won't tell you things that shouldn't be known by a child," Xing Xiao answered frankly. "If I don't tell you, you should pretend not to know." "Humph." Muqiqi snorted. "Yes, I know my limits." On the other side, Xing Bowen also drove to Rin Yufei's apartment and picked her up. The 4 of them entered Huang Yao's warehouse together. "The 5 batches of imitations are all here," Rin Yufei said as she held the list. Rin Yufei held the list and said, "I've just checked the data. It's not wrong. There are 20 pieces per unit, 100 pieces in 5 batches and 500 pieces here. Looks like we'll be busy tonight." Xing Bowen looked at the tall box and was a little annoyed. Are you going to check these 5 batches of imitations? These 5 batches of imitations were collected from other places in order to find out the channel through which the blueprints were leaked. These imitations have nothing to do with Third Master Long, Xing Bowen explained. Xing Bowen explained, Xiaoqi, your nose is the best. Smell it and see if you can sense anything unusual. *CKU, I'm not a dog. Mu Qiqi glared at him and said, this is Xiao Zhao's personality. He will definitely check every checkpoint. Since you understand, then let's not talk so much nonsense. Let's begin. There were 4 people and each of them had an average of 125 pieces. It would only take a few seconds to open the decorative boxes. Therefore, it did not take much effort to open the 500 imitations. Tomorrow you still have to check all the vice presidents and the people who handled them, Xing Xiao said to Xing Bowen as he opened the boxes. Xing Xiao said to Xing Bowen as he opened the boxes, now the enemy is in the open and we are in the dark. Only by controlling every link can we not let others take advantage of it. I'll never be as meticulous as you in my life. Xing Bowen could not help but admit defeat. That's the result of years of experience. It's not innate. Xing Xiao gestured to him that it was the result of training. Xing Bowen shrugged and began his work. However, soon most of the jewelry box was opened, but there were no clues. Fakes are fakes. The value of the crystals inside might not even be comparable to Huang Yao's packaging box. While Xing Bowen sighed, he also reminded Mu Qiqi, the packaging box. What's wrong? Mu Qiqi did not answer him immediately. Instead, she took out the heaviest packaging box from the jewelry that she had handled. Then she took out the fake jewelry and the stuffing inside. Finally, she weighed it in her hand and still felt that the weight was wrong. Give me the knife. Xing Xiao quickly handed the knife to her. Mu Qiqi took the knife and cut open the interlayer of the jewelry box with a beautiful gesture. This was an eye-opener for Xing Bowen. I can finally imagine what it looks like when you dissect a corpse. However, Mu Qiqi could not laugh because she took out a small bag of white things from the interlayer. What is this? Mu Qiqi opened it and sniffed it. Then she said a chemical term, diacetylmorphine. Chapter 727. Xing Bowen was stunned when he heard that. How is that possible? I suddenly understand why Xing Kai wanted to set up Third Master Long. Because Third Master Long and Qing Bin have been involved with this kind of thing in the past. If you go to Third Master Long and find this thing in Huang Yao's warehouse, do you think you'll have any room to defend yourself? Xing Xiao looked at Xing Bowen sharply. Xing Bowen took the small bag from Mu Qiqi, his mind buzzing. How much is this small bag? About 30 grams. Mu Qiqi replied. Moreover, there were no less than 10 of these boxes just now, so there must be more. Find it first, then inform Tang Yan to call the police immediately. Xing Kai's move is not only to destroy the Xing family, but also to destroy Huang Yao. When the time comes, if I go to prison, Grandpa will definitely suffer a blow. Huang Yao will also collapse because of this. What a vicious heart. More than that. Xing Xiao looked at Xing Kai with a complicated expression. He's been plotting all this while to put on this show at the old man's birthday banquet. He wants to give the old man a big gift. If such a thing happened on the old man's important day, it would be equivalent to taking the old man's life. Then what should we do now? Hand these things over to the police and replace the fillings with lime powder. No one knows what we'll find tonight. We'll beat him at his own game. Mu Qiqi suddenly stood up and said, I don't believe that he won't show up that day. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and comforted her. Chir's idea is very good. You should still go to see Third Master Long as usual, but you can use him. Xing Kai's doing this is equivalent to dragging Third Master Long down with him. Do you think he'll agree? He's doing everything he can to clear his name. How can he let Xing Kai slander him? I understand. Since Xing Kai has given us such a big gift, of course we have to return the favor. The few of them worked together to find all the white things. Mu Qiqi took a rough look. These are enough for you to stay in prison. Xing Bowen's expression changed. He hugged Ren Yufei and did not say a word. He did not expect that Xing Kai had actually exchanged souls with a demon and became so vicious. Soon Tang Yan arrived with his team. When he saw the spectacular scene on the ground, he asked, What's going on? These are the things that Huang Yao found in the interlayer of the counterfeits. These are all of them. Huang Yao will give you the person who handled it and the surveillance footage tomorrow. This has nothing to do with Huang Yao. You have to investigate this thoroughly. Xianxia was a veteran after all. He knew how this matter would affect Huang Yao, so he explained it to Tang Yan in advance. Even if Huang Yao cooperates, the personnel involved will still be investigated. After all, Huang Yao is not under the jurisdiction of the branch, and we are not that department. I understand. Huang Yao will cooperate at any time. However, if Captain Tang wants to know the real owner of these things, I hope that you can let me put on a show to lure the snake out of its hole. After spending some time, Xianxia told Tang Yan the whole story. Tang Yan already knew about Sheng Kai's situation, so he knew how serious it was. It's very wise to call the police when you find out, but there are many things that are out of control. I can only try my best to cooperate, Tang Yan said to Xianxia. Third young master, please provide the list of people who handled it and the surveillance footage as soon as possible. After the police get these things, they will send people over to investigate, but I will inform you in advance. I understand, Captain Tang. Xing Bowen nodded seriously. I hope the police can find out and clear Huang Yao's name. As long as it can be proved that there is no problem with the person who handled it, and that no one else touched this batch of things before you touched it, Huang Yao will be cleared of suspicion. Xing Bowen wanted to say something else, but he was stopped by Mu Qiqi. If it were someone else doing this, you would have made a big deal out of it. Be content. Xing Bowen nodded and tilted his head to Ren Yufei. Go and get the surveillance footage quietly. Don't alert anyone. Don't worry, I know the severity, Ren Yufei replied. Sheng Kai had really given her a super nuclear bomb. The few of you should also make a statement with old Qing, including you, Qiqi. Mu Qiqi nodded. No matter what, this thrilling night was finally over. However, after returning home, Xing Bowen could not sleep. He was afraid that this matter would be exposed and he would really fall into Sheng Kai's trap. In the middle of the night, Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi home. On the way, the two of them did not say a word. Why aren't you saying anything? Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao's side profile and asked. He's making things more and more boring, Xing Xiao said. There was a hint of regret in his words. That's right. After breaking the bottom line, it will only get worse in the future. But Xiao, you have to know that if this was really done by Xing Kai, if he's really so crazy, then Captain Tang will definitely make him suffer. After all, he hates evil so much. Just him? Of course, there's also you. Mu Qiqi smiled. Although in the eyes of outsiders, you're a person who is both good and evil, and it seems to make people tremble in fear when they hear your name, you never do anything that goes beyond the bottom line. At most, you teach others a lesson. It's impossible for you to do such a despicable thing. In the past, I thought that although Xing Kai was a little trash, he could barely be considered a human. But now he's even worse than an animal. So I'll definitely keep an eye on him like Captain Tang. I want to see how arrogant and lawless this person will be. After Xing Xiao heard the little thing's words, he deeply felt the righteousness from her. It was a person's soul. You haven't been led astray by me. Xiao, you don't know yourself, do you? Although you usually preach an eye for an eye, tonight when you encountered something, your first reaction was to call the police instead of handling it privately. What does this mean? My man, he is actually a righteous and awe-inspiring person. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. This little thing was very good at pacifying people now. She specially picked out things that you liked and could not refute. It was as if her mouth was smeared with honey. As long as we find out that this matter has nothing to do with Huang Yao, the police will change the direction of their investigation. So our plan will remain the same. What if it's related? Xing Xiao tilted his head and said something unpleasant. Don't forget that there were 5 or 6 people who handled this matter. I'm more optimistic and luckier. It was Ren Yufei who was still checking the surveillance footage in the warehouse in the middle of the night. Chapter 728. I don't have a good family background or a prominent status. The only thing I can do for you is these trivial things, Ren Yufei said to Xing Bowen very sincerely. So, you don't have to feel burdened because I'm willing to do this. Xing Bowen gently stroked Ren Yufei's black hair and nodded, touched. With you here, I believe that Huang Yao will be fine. Go and rest for a while. You still have to deal with the Hu Corporation tomorrow. Ren Yufei pushed Xing Bowen to the sofa. I'll call you when I'm ready. I'll just take a short nap. Call me in 10 minutes and I'll take your place. Got it. Ren Yufei agreed verbally, but she did not have such a plan in her heart. However, Xing Bowen also knew that she would have such thoughts, so he specially set the alarm clock. The two of them, together with the security guard in charge of the surveillance, spent most of the night and finally delivered all the information the police wanted to Tang Yan. In addition to the surveillance footage, there was also the information of the person who handled it. Other than this, President Xing has to get the relevant people involved to cooperate with the investigation as soon as possible, including your vice president. This way we can eliminate the suspicion of Huang Yao as soon as possible, Tang Yan instructed Ren Yufei. We understand all of this. I hope that Captain Tang can do his best to help us. Don't be so nervous. Tang Yan seemed to be comforting Ren Yufei verbally. The police will not wrongly accuse any good person. Ren Yufei nodded. She seemed to be a little exhausted. Tang Yan seemed to have seen through her and reminded her, go back and rest. You've worked hard this night. However, Ren Yufei could rest, but Xing Bowen could not at the moment. In order to avoid the panic of Huang Yao's shareholders, he planned to use his own name to help the Hu Corporation and lend money to Papa Hu. In the morning, Ren Yufei was ordered to go back to rest, so the person beside Xing Bowen was Ren Yufei's new secretary. President who is now at the bank. It seems that he wants to fight for the last chance, but his situation is not very good. Someone saw that he almost knelt down to the president of the bank. In other words, Gu Xiling and Li Rulin were freaks through and through. They specialized in torturing others for fun. Even if it was an innocent person like Papa Hu, they would not let him off. Real estate and banks were closely linked, and the most frightening thing was that the funds would be tied up. One ring after another, and if they could not be connected, they might go bankrupt overnight. Which bank? Send the address to the driver immediately. I'll go over now, Xing Bowen said as he walked. Call my private lawyer and ask them to come with me immediately. Got it, President. The new secretary quickly nodded. She took out the important notes that Ren Yufei had given her and contacted Xing Bowen's lawyer. Just as Xing Bowen thought, Gu Xiling was a freak. Knowing that they did not have the ability to deal with Xing Xiao now, they started attacking the people around them. Hu Ran didn't know how to appreciate favors. Of course, her father had to take the punishment for his daughter. Gu Xiling believed that everyone should understand such a simple logic. Therefore, seeing that Papa Hu had no way to turn to for help, she was extremely happy. Wasn't Hu Ran very arrogant? She wanted to see how Hu Ran could be arrogant now that she was no longer the daughter of a rich family. Papa Hu had indeed asked the bank for help. After all, they had worked together for many years. However, no matter how strong their friendship was, it could not compare to the suppression of power. Moreover, he was friends with the former president. Therefore, Papa Hu could only leave the bank. But just as he walked out of the bank, Xing Bowen's car arrived at the bank's entrance. When Papa Hu saw this, he could not help but be puzzled. Third young master, what are you? Uncle, I'm here to look for you, Xing Bowen said directly. Coincidentally, I'm also using this bank. I want to use my private assets to help the Hu Corporation through this crisis. So you don't have to leave. I might have to trouble you to come back to the bank with me again. After Papa Hu heard this, he was shocked. Third young master, I know that the Hu Corporation is in trouble, so I must help it. After all, the Xing family is the one who caused the trouble. The Xing family feels guilty, Xing Bowen explained sincerely. Xing Bowen explained sincerely. I also treat Xiao Ran as a family member, so you can't refuse. Papa Hu felt like he was dreaming. That was because he had never thought of seeking help from the Xing family. After all, he had seen all kinds of storms over the years. He was already prepared to start from scratch. However, when he heard that Xing Bowen was going to help him through this difficult time, he almost burst into tears. Who else could be like Xing Bowen at this critical juncture, offering a helping hand in a time of need? Just like that, Xing Bowen brought his lawyer and Papa Hu back to the office of the bank president. I don't need your bank's approval to help a friend with my private assets, do I, President Gu? The other party's expression was ugly, but he had nothing to say. I remember that a few months ago the president of your bank wasn't surnamed Gu. I didn't expect you to be promoted so quickly. I wonder what kind of expert taught you. Xing Bowen was very reserved. In fact, his meaning was simple and clear, and it was quite sarcastic. No one had thought that Xing Bowen would interfere in this matter. The Hu family was already on the verge of being forced into a corner. They did not expect Xing Bowen to be so generous. Third young master, I don't know how to repay you for helping me like this. I'll just treat it as you buying shares. After that, the lawyer will calculate the proportion of shares for you. Uncle, I don't have any other meaning in doing this. I just want the Hu Corporation to tide over this crisis. I don't need to hold shares. You can just give me an IOU. I won't charge interest. I've taken too much advantage of you. Papa Hu felt very apologetic. Speaking of which, you're all innocent people. After saying this, Xing Bowen left with his team. That made Papa Hu feel deeply that the third young master of the Xing family was truly loyal and true. Moreover, he did not make any requests. Hu Ran had caused so much trouble previously, but he did not take the opportunity to threaten her to leave Jianchuan. He had already done his best. After leaving the bank, Papa Hu called Hu Ran. Because he really did not expect Xing Bowen to be such a timely help. Daughter, I owe third young master a favor. Hu Ran also did not expect that in the end, it would be this loyal man who helped the Hu family. Dad, don't worry. I won't cause trouble for third brother anymore. He's really just my brother. Moreover, I'll enter the Hu Corporation and help you pay off the money you owe as soon as possible. Most importantly, she had to lay low. She would remember Gu Ziling's hatred today. There was still a long way to go. As for Gu Ziling, she was halfway through her joy when she suddenly received news that the Hu family had been saved by Xing Bowen. Her expression immediately changed. Chapter 729. However, it was still too early to say whether he could protect himself or not. According to the previous plan, Xing Bowen was going to look for Third Master Long in the afternoon to ask for an explanation. This was also to cooperate with Xing Kai's plan to use him. However, Third Master Long was not an ordinary person. If Xing Bowen fell into it, he did not know what he would face. Therefore, Xing Xiao would definitely be a backup. However, Xing Xiao did not tell Muqiqi about this. Xing Bowen did not intend to take Ren Yufei into danger. Of course, Tang Yan was not idle either. After Ren Yufei woke up, she secretly cooperated with Tang Yan to retrieve all kinds of information and check the relevant personnel. After careful verification by Old Cheng and the others, they found that after the 5 batches of imitations entered Huang Yao's warehouse, there were no traces of anyone touching them. This meant that before entering Huang Yao's warehouse, the batch of things had been in the middle of the imitations. The most important thing now was to confirm that there was no problem with the person who handled it. Only then could Huang Yao be completely cleared of suspicion. Because of this matter, Xing Bowen left Ren Yufei in the company. He brought his lawyer and personally drove to Third Master Long's territory. Of course, Xing Xiao was also on the way with Su Che, ready to support Xing Bowen at any time. As for the women at home, because they were still in school, there was no need to hide anything. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Xing Bowen appeared at Third Master Long's manor. This also meant that he had fallen into Xing Kai's trap. The butler informed Third Master Long, who was wearing loose training clothes and making tea in the yard. This kid has some courage. He actually dared to come to my door. At that moment, Qing Bin was in Third Master Long's courtyard. After hearing Third Master Long's words, he sneered. How would those businessmen know how powerful you are? They think that they can do whatever they want just because they have some stinky money. They dare to come anywhere. It's fine. In the end, I'm the one who did something wrong. I'm the one who should feel guilty. Since I want to meet a guest, you can leave for now, Third Master Long said to Qing Bin leisurely as he stroked his beard. Then I'll leave first. Qing Bin stood up and quickly left through the side door of the courtyard. At that moment, the butler brought Xing Bowen to Third Master Long's garden. What a rare guest. My small courtyard can actually welcome such a distinguished guest. What a miracle. Third Master Long immediately went forward to greet him. Xing Bowen saw 2 teacups in front of him and knew that someone had just left. He smiled and said, Third Master Long's reputation is not just for show. Please have a seat. I wonder what brings Chief Xing here today. They're here for the leaked blueprints of Huang Yao. Xing Bowen went straight to the point. I want to know from Third Master Long who sold you the blueprint. President Xing, what big words. What evidence do you have to prove that this belongs to Huang Yao? Third Master Long was not angry, but he looked very stern. The sketch in my hand is the evidence. Xing Bowen said, Third Master Long, you and I both know how you got your design blueprint. I don't think I need to explain it to you, do I? After all, I have 3 lawyers with me. When Third Master Long saw the lawyer behind Xing Bo's tattoo, he smiled. Where does CEO Xing think this is? Such shameless boasting. Are you really not afraid of me? Third Master Long, I'm a businessman. What businessmen value is money. According to the law, you're infringing on copyright. I should have dealt with this matter a long time ago, but I've been too busy and haven't had the time. Today, I'm here to ask for an explanation from you. You've wantonly copied our things with fake and inferior products and caused us a lot of losses. As the CEO of Huang Yao, I should have given an explanation to my employees and consumers. So I'm sorry, but if you don't intend to deal with this matter properly, I can only call the police. We'll go to court. After Third Master Long heard this, he frowned at Xing Bowen. In the end, he couldn't help but laugh. Young man, I advise you not to be too arrogant. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being reasonable. Xing Bowen did look like a businessman. He did not take Third Master Long's previous identity and background seriously at all. But in fact, this was Xing Bowen and Xing Zhao's strategy. Xing Bowen was in charge of pretending to be stupid and acting like a boorish man. Then Xing Zhao would talk about what happened to Xing Kai. This way Xing Bowen would not be suspected. Therefore, Xing Bowen's words were provoking Third Master Long. As a pure businessman, he insisted that he would sue Third Master Long for copyright infringement. Third Master Long, to tell you the truth, my legal team is not to be trifled with. After Third Master Long heard this, he immediately gestured to the bodyguards behind him. However, the bodyguards were so agile that no one could see them clearly. A few lawyers had already fallen to the ground and were unconscious. All of them were knocked unconscious. Is this your team of lawyers who are not to be trifled with? Third Master Long sneered. Young man, don't go overboard. If we meet again in the future, I'll let go of this stupid thing you did today. But if you continue to pester me endlessly, then I have a carnivorous fellow under the pond. If I throw you down, not even your bones will be left. Do you believe me? I don't believe you because I only believe in the law. Moreover, so many people know that I came to your manor. If I disappear just like that, how are you going to explain it to the police? You don't have to worry about that. Third Master Long smiled cunningly. If you want to try, then I'll fulfill your wish now. I don't believe you. Third Master Long saw that Xing Bowen did not know what was good for him, so he gestured to the bodyguards. Throw him down. However, before the bodyguards could move, the butler came to report again. President Xing from Zhongting is also here. That's a legendary figure. He's probably here to fish this stupid thing out. Third Master Long smiled. Let him in. The more stupid Xing Bowen appeared, the more Third Master Long felt that Xing Xiao was extremely smart from his appearance. Soon Xing Xiao brought Su Che into Third Master Long's manor. When he saw this, he said to Third Master Long, "This third brother of mine usually doesn't use his brain. It's really worrying. This is going to be lively." To Xiao Sheng's. Third Master Long made a welcoming gesture. This brother of mine has an average IQ, but he's daring. I hope that Third Master Long will show mercy and let him leave. Xing Xiao looked at Xing Bowen and said to Third Master Long, "Of course, none of the things you're worried about will happen." With Xing Zhao's guarantee, Third Master Long thought for a moment and said to the bodyguards, "Send the third young master of the Xing family away." Eighth brother, who asked you to make the decision? You're no longer the CEO of Huang Yao. Xing Bowen deliberately ignored Xing Zhao's kindness. Third Master Long is giving me face. Don't push your luck. Su Che, take him away, Xing Xiao instructed Su Che. Chapter 730. In terms of boldness in the Xing family, you're the former crown prince. After leaving Huang Yao and establishing the huge Zhongting, the new generation is really pushing the old one forward. However, even if you come personally, I won't be afraid. What kind of person was Third Master Long? All these years in Jianchuan, he had never been a person who suffered losses. In the past, he could even clean up so many dirty things, let alone these drawings of Huang Yao. If it were in the past, I would definitely fight to the death with Third Master Long if I knew that something like this had happened to Huang Yao. I could probably think of hundreds of different ways to deal with it. Xianxia said as he sat down in front of Third Master Long. However, we're all people with families now. It's not appropriate for me to act like a young boy. So, other than fishing people out today, I just want to talk to you about something else. Xing Zhao's eyes were not as simple as Xing Bowen's. He could see through his thoughts at a glance. Xing Zhao's eyes were complicated and ever-changing, but he was calm. Third Master Long knew very well how many people had fallen into his hands. So he smiled and nodded. I Long have never been afraid of anyone in Jianchuan for so many years. However, I can't see through you. Tell me, I'd like to hear what else you can tell me besides Huang Yao. I want to ask Third Master Long, why did you want to cooperate with the traitor of the Xing family? Xianxia went straight to the point. The loss of the drawings can be a big or small matter. It's not that it can't be solved. However, in the entire Jianchuan, no one else dares to take on Huang Yao, but Third Master Long did. Why? Your brother just said that I'm just a businessman. Since I'm a businessman, of course I only need to pay attention to business opportunities. I believe that this is the reason why Third Master Long and Xingkai are working together. However, I feel that this is very inconsistent with Third Master Long's identity. What kind of person are you? How could you not know that Xingkai wants to take revenge on the Xing family? Since it's revenge, he will definitely set countless traps for the Xing family to jump into. As one of them, do you think you can escape unscathed? After Third Master Long heard this, he fell into deep thought. Then he replied, I'm afraid not, right? I'm just producing my stuff. How is it related to the grudges of other people's families? If Third Master Long thinks that way, then don't blame me for not reminding you when the police target you in the future. It seems that Chief Xing is implying something. I'm willing to listen. Sheng Kai betrayed the Xing family, and Third Master Long spent money to buy a business opportunity. This seems understandable, but Third Master Long, do you know that when we were investigating the other counterfeits last night, we found diacetylmorphine in the packaging boxes of those batches? I believe that Third Master Long knows better than me what this is, right? Third Master Long's expression changed when he heard the chemical term. In other words, Sheng Kai didn't just sell the blueprint to you. He also sold it to someone else. He also asked the small merchant to put this dangerous thing in the box. Once someone finds out and reports it, Huang Yao will be investigated. Then Third Master Long, who was involved in this before, met my third brother today. Wouldn't the police have a reason to suspect you first? After listening to Xing Zhao's analysis, Third Master Long's expression could no longer be described as colorful. Even so, Third Master Long, do you think it doesn't matter? Third Master Long was so angry that he slammed his palm on the rosewood table. No one has ever dared to scheme against me. Where are these things right now? Third Master Long, don't worry. You're innocent. Huang Yao is naturally not a place to hide dirty things. Of course, these things have to be handed over to the police, Xianxia explained. Originally, we had already exposed this matter and could have settled it privately. However, I feel that Third Master Long should have the right to know. Third Master Long took a sip of tea. His expression was very gloomy. After a long while, he asked Xianxia, you want to rope me in? People of different paths can't work together. It's just that when we punish the mastermind, I hope that Third Master Long won't be the one standing in the way. After Third Master Long heard this, he put down his teacup heavily and even spilled the tea on the table. Since you've already thought of a countermeasure, I'll just watch the show. Don't worry, there's a perpetrator for every debt. When you're done, let me know. I'll also go and seek justice. The old man had been all-powerful for his entire life. In the end, he had been tricked by a brat. Third Master Long could not take this lying down. However, he also wanted to verify whether Xing Zhao's words were true or not. Soon, Qingbin came out from behind the rockery after Xing Xiao left. Of course, he did not know that Xing Xiao and Tang Yan had a cooperative relationship. He simply hated the Xing family. These rich families are always looking for trouble. Didn't you go in for money? Third Master Long rolled his eyes at him. Don't be in a hurry to take revenge. Stay by my side and work. I'll find a chance for you. Got it. Qingbin knew that Tang Yan's current status was not something he could easily shake. He needed a detailed plan and a backer. Now I want to see how the Xing family will fight this battle. Why did Xing Xiao want to deal with Third Master Long? Just as he said, it was so that there would be no resistance when dealing with Xing Kai. If Third Master Long did not know about these things in advance, once the police were involved, Third Master Long might make some false moves to protect himself. Therefore he needed to make an agreement in advance. One was a noob and the other was a big shot. They worked well together. However, Muqiqi only found out that Xianxia had gone to meet Third Master Long that night. You knew about the relationship between Third Master Long and Qing Bin. Why did you go by yourself? Third brother and Suche both went. Xianxia took off his coat as he answered Muqiqi. It's just a meeting, not a fight. You don't have to be so paranoid. Nonsense. Third brother said that his 3 lawyers were all knocked unconscious. Muqiqi chased after Xianxia and kept nagging. Can't you tell me about this in advance? After I found out, I was still scared. No. Only officials are allowed to set fires and ordinary people are not allowed to light lamps. I have to report to you whenever I go to a dangerous place, but what about you? After hearing Muqiqi's words, Xianxia wanted to slap Xingbowen to death. If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't have gone rashly. Xianxia hugged the angry little thing from behind and comforted her in a low voice. I also cherish my life. Humph. If anything happens to me, who will spoil your lawlessness for the rest of your life? Xianxia said as he pulled the little ear. So, I also cherish my life. Do you understand? Chapter 731. Isn't it because you're too infatuated with me? Xianxia turned her body around and pinched her chin. Muqiqi broke free from his hand and suddenly hugged him tightly. Although I know you're confident, I still feel scared when I think about it. How can a normal family tolerate their husband coming into contact with those dark and dirty things? Muqiqi shook his hand off. Don't forget your identity. You're a forensic doctor. Xianxia was a little helpless against her fragile heart. It's precisely because I'm a forensic doctor that I know very well that the dirtiest thing in this world is the human heart. Muqiqi emphasized. The more I see, the more I know that humans are scarier than ghosts. Xianxia did not say anything else. He had no right to speak on this matter and could not convince Muqiqi. After all, Muqiqi was the one who had been in and out of murder scenes countless times. The two of them hugged quietly for a while. After a long while, Muqiqi poked her head out again and asked, So, has everything been settled? Now I'm looking at Tang Yan's investigation. Other than that, I still have a question in my heart, but I have to wait for the results from Tang Yan's side. Muqiqi did not ask further. Anyway, she was only thinking about waiting for the day of the old man's birthday. She also wanted to know how Xing Kai would open the gorgeous and exciting prelude. The diacetylmorphine had already been replaced with lime powder. When the time came, he would probably be happy for nothing. Late that night, Tang Yan received the results of the investigation. There were no problems with the 5 batches of imitations. In other words, Huang Yao's suspicions could be completely cleared. They had accidentally brought this thing into Huang Yao's warehouse. Xingbowen called Xianxia to tell him the good news. The plan could proceed smoothly. However, Xingxiao's expression became extremely gloomy. If there's no problem with all the people who handled it, then there must be Xing Kai's people in Huang Yao, Xingxiao said. Xingxiao said. Think about it. Who will discover and reveal this secret on the old man's birthday? However, you don't have to be in a hurry to look for it. On the day of the incident, whoever calls the police is the mole. That's true, Xingbowen replied. Xingbowen replied, although there's no need to deliberately investigate, I can still keep an eye on it just in case. Do you? 8th brother, what's with your attitude? You know the reason. Xingxiao hung up the phone without giving Xingbowen a chance to speak again. Xingbowen hung up the phone in confusion. When he thought about it, he realized that he might have been too talkative and told Muqiqi something he shouldn't have. The little thing was going to pester 8th brother and cause trouble. Just thinking about that scene was very interesting. But it did not matter. That way, the old man's birthday would not only be a gift from that little one Muqiqi. There would be even more exciting segments. Some people would definitely pay the price for what they had done. This time, Xing Kai had indeed spent a lot of effort to set up a trap to lure these fish into the trap. However, what he should not have done was to allow Gu Xiling to cause trouble for Hu Ran. Otherwise, Xingxiao would not have been able to trace the matter of the counterfeit goods one by one. Gu Xiling had always been a proud woman. She thought that if she did not tell Hu Ran what she was going to do, She would not reveal Xianxia's plan. However, her attitude had already explained everything. People who were overly conceited often thought themselves to be clever. Late at night at Gu Ziling's grandfather's house, Grandpa Xing sat at the dining table and looked at Xianxia, who was eating quietly. He asked calmly, "Grandpa Xing's birthday is coming soon. Have you not prepared your birthday gift yet?" "It's ready," Xianxia replied. "Well, do well with your godfather. In the future it won't be difficult for you to fight against Zhongting, let alone the Xing family." "Thank you for your help, Grandpa." Xianxia stood up and bowed to thank him. "I'm not doing this for you. It's for my granddaughter. You must remember this." After saying that, Grandpa Xing stood up from the dining table. "I'll wait for your good news. I trust you very much now." Gu Ziling could not help hugging Xianxia after returning to her room. "I have high hopes for you. I won't let you down." Xianxia was full of confidence in this matter. He had done a lot of distractions. He thought that this matter would be foolproof. But he did not know that Gu Ziling was his biggest flaw. Xianxia wanted to use Grandpa Xing's birthday gift to reappear in the public eye. But, unfortunately, after this matter is over, let me deal with the little secretary by Xing Bowen's side," Gu Ziling said to Xianxia before she took off her clothes and entered the bathroom. "Why, she used to be your person, but in the end she became Xing Bowen's lackey. Of course I have to teach her a good lesson. Otherwise how can I calm the anger in my heart?" Gu Ziling snorted coldly. "We've been looked down upon by so many people and laid low for so long. I don't believe that the Xing family will be safe this time." "Of course I promised you," Xianxia replied to his wife. "How can a woman from a lowly background enter a rich family?" The two of them were probably carried away by the impending victory. They were actually thinking of taking revenge on those who had bullied them after the matter was over. However, Xing Xiao would not give them this chance. He, Xianxia, would never be Xing Zhao's enemy. The next day there were 3 days left until Grandpa Xing's birthday. Xing Xiao would occasionally ask Mu Qiqi if she had prepared the old man's birthday present. However, Mu Qiqi would always block him with a few words. "There are things that you don't know. I won't tell you." Mu Qiqi snorted. "You're even more anxious than me when it comes to the task you assigned yourself, right? What do you mean by embarrassing me? I won't embarrass myself." After saying this, Mu Qiqi got into the car and went to Xingting for class. From the moment she received this task, she had racked her brains and looked for the teachers in Xingting's industrial department. It was not easy for her to find a way to make such a thing. If the old man dared to dislike it, if he dared to say no, then she would never give him a second gift in her life. Of course, she had already prepared the gift. She had even left it somewhere else to maintain the sense of mystery. No one would know what she had made, especially Xiao Xiao, that pig trotter. This time Xing Xiao really did not know what she was pretending to be. Chapter 732. After Xing Bowen returned home, he did not mention a word to the old man. It was not that he did not want to give him a heads up, but he was worried that he would let his imagination run wild. During dinner he would also test the old man a little. For example, if his second son came to congratulate him on his birthday, would he welcome him? After hearing this question, the old man looked at Xing Bowen strangely. "There's no such person in the Xing family for a long time. Why are you still mentioning him? No matter where he's made his fortune now, it has nothing to do with the Xing family. I thought you were going to regret chasing him out. I've done so many things that implicated my children and grandchildren. What I don't regret the most is chasing Xianxia out of this family. Don't mention this name in front of me in the future," the old man said as he pointed at Xing Bowen with his chopsticks. But it wouldn't be easy. Xing Bowen did not say much. Only when he delivered supper to Ren Yufei late at night would he completely let go of his heart. If grandfather knew that Xianxia wanted to kill the Xing family this time, how sad would he be? Ren Yufei saw his melancholy look and sat beside him. She comforted him. "The current situation is much better than we expected. Think about it. If that thing hadn't been discovered, the consequences would have been unimaginable." Xing Bowen felt a lingering fear when he thought of this. "It seems that I really have to learn more from eighth brother. Otherwise, if I really go to prison, I won't be able to be with you. You've become glib now." Ren Yufei ignored him and got up from his side, but Xing Bowen grabbed her wrist. Rin Yufei's center of gravity was unstable and she sat on Xing Bowen's lap. These days the two of them had gotten used to such intimacy. Rin Yufei also knew what sitting on his lap meant. It was an irresistible kiss. However, tonight Xing Bowen could not help but put his hand into Rin Yufei's lapel. It was not until Rin Yufei struggled a little that Xing Bowen reacted. "I'm sorry, I've crossed the line." Rin Yufei's face turned red. "If you really feel sorry, then go home quickly. Are you willing to let us lose such a beautiful and sweet time?" Xing Bowen hugged Rin Yufei again and asked. "Of course I can't bear to," Rin Yufei thought. She didn't even dare to hope for a minute and a second to spend with Xing Bowen. "You know what? I used to be very envious of Chi-Chi because she dared to say and do anything. She lived a free and carefree life. I know that this has nothing to do with her identity. Even if she was just an ordinary person, I believe that she could live her life to the fullest. So, I also hope that I can have her courage and stand together with you bravely." Eighth brother is a person on the other side of the world, but he was still taken down by Chi-Chi. "I'm just an ordinary man and I also desire sincere feelings." After saying this, Xing Bowen picked Rin Yufei up and walked to her bedroom. "You want to? After kissing while sitting, I want to kiss while lying down." After saying that, Xing Bowen had already placed Rin Yufei on the soft bed. However, his kiss did not carry any lust. There was only seriousness and pity. Why did eighth brother insist on Chi-Chi? In the past he didn't understand, but now he understood that some people were irreplaceable. These 3 nights were the calm before the storm, right? That night was also the day that Feng Xianxian and Tang Yan moved into their new house. In fact, the two of them didn't have many things, especially Feng Xianxian. After all, she didn't live in any place for long. After the two of them put away their luggage, they sat on the sofa and enjoyed this moment of peace. Feng Xianxian looked at the man in the dark and couldn't help but smile. "Are we considered to be in the upper class? We're actually so close to the mayor and Mu Chi-Chi. You like the upper class life? That was in the past. Now you're my life." After saying that, Feng Xianxian pounced on Tang Yan. The two of them were about to have a scene on the sofa, but the doorbell rang at this time. Feng Xianxian looked at Tang Yan. Feng Xianxian was a little helpless. "If I had known, I wouldn't have informed Mu Chi-Chi. I'm going to take a shower. You guys talk." After saying that, Tang Yan got up and returned to the bedroom. Feng Xianxian jumped off the sofa helplessly and got up to open the door. She saw Mu Chi-Chi holding a bottle of red wine, congratulating the two of them on moving into their new house. "You're too stingy. Do you know how much this bottle of wine is worth? I took it out from the wine cellar at home." Mu Chi-Chi quickly explained. "Have a drink? I'm taking things too hard. I want to drink with you. It's not fun. I'm in class now and I don't go to the forensics laboratory. The time we spend together has been greatly reduced. If you don't want to drink with me, I'll go back. Come in." The two women didn't let the man accompany them. They wrapped themselves in blankets and sat in the courtyard. Each of them had a glass of wine and drank arrogantly. "What's your plan now? Are you giving up on being a forensic doctor?" Feng Xianxian curled up in the chair and smiled. "Tang Yan has already contacted the relevant teachers. I'm going to study by myself. He's quite good to you. But when I first came in, I saw that your ears and neck were red. Now the hickeys are all out. The two of you were..." Mu Chi-Chi's eyes wandered over Feng Xianxian's body. "Did I disturb the two of you?" He just realized. Feng Xianxian rolled her eyes. At the mention of this, Mu Chi-Chi couldn't help but gossip. "To tell you the truth, how's Captain Tang's kung fu? He's definitely not worse than your Xiao Sheng." Feng Xianxian raised an eyebrow at Mu Chi-Chi. "You want to compare yourself to me in this kind of thing? Of course, an enemy is a lifetime." After Feng Xianxian said that, she laughed. Mu Chi-Chi also laughed. The two women finished Xing Zhao's entire bottle of Lafite in the courtyard. Mu Chi-Chi couldn't drink to begin with. Now that they were in the courtyard, she completely lost control. Tang Yan had no choice but to call Xing Zhao. "Xiao Xing, I might have to trouble you to bring your woman back." It was only a 5-minute walk from the banyan courtyard. After taking a shower, Xing Zhao was wearing a black sweater and a brown coat. He looked like a foreign gentleman. But his expression, when he saw Mu Chi-Chi lying on the table in Tang Yan's house, his eyes were about to spit fire. He picked up the little thing and strode out of Tang Yan's house. Chapter 733. Did you steal my Lafite to drink? Xing Xiao snorted. Mu Qiqi shook her head and leaned against Xing Zhao's neck. Other than preparing a gift for Grandpa, I also prepared something for you. Who told you to say it now? Xing Xiao hugged her, but he slowed down because he felt that after drinking, she would not be able to hide any secrets in her stomach. If he walked slower, he could ask her a lot of questions. But I won't tell you what it is. Don't say it. If you dare say it now, I'll strangle you to death. If she said it out loud, there would be no surprise. Mu Qiqi giggled foolishly and fell asleep in Xing Zhao's arms. Xing Xiao had wanted to ask more, but he couldn't bring himself to do so. After carrying her home, he washed her in the bathtub, put her on the bed and fell asleep with her in his arms. However, the same situation did not work on Feng Xianxian's side. Feng Xianxian deliberately pretended to sleep, but Tang Yan ignored her the whole time. This made Feng Xianxian very angry. Lying on the bed, she could not pretend anymore. Mu Qiqi will definitely be taken care of in every possible way when she goes home, but what about me? Are you just going to leave me alone? After Tang Yan finished showering, there were still water droplets sliding down his muscles. He only said, I know you won't get drunk after 1,000 drinks. Feng Xianxian was speechless. Boring man, have you never had sex after drinking? Tang Yan turned around and looked at Feng Xianxian, who reeked of alcohol. I didn't drink, but I don't mind being crazier than I was. Then what are you waiting for? Feng Xianxian took the initiative to pull the towel around his waist. Tang Yan had been investigating Qingbin for a few days, but Qingbin looked like a good citizen. It seemed like he had no intention of taking revenge. However, he was secretly contacting Third Master Long. From this, Tang Yan guessed that Qingbin wanted Third Master Long to be his backer. However, Qingbin would not take revenge on him in the short term because Third Master Long would not give people a chance for nothing. He had to let Qingbin achieve something under him. Therefore, he did not plan to waste any more time on Qingbin. The Special Investigations team still needed him to go back and lead the team. But now what he needed to find out the most was who had gotten the goods from that batch of things that had appeared in Huangyao. 2 days later, the Xing family's birthday banquet would be held. Everyone knew that Grandpa Xing had undergone surgery and was hospitalized. Perhaps it was to make the old man happy. Xing Bowen had been preparing since a month ago. He wanted to make the old man happy. 2 days before the old man's birthday banquet, Xing Bowen had already gotten someone to check the guest list and the security personnel. Of course, due to some special reasons, Xing Bowen had to communicate with the security personnel beforehand so that the show would not be delayed. Xing Bowen acted as if he did not know about the things in Huang Yao's warehouse. He continued to check whatever he wanted, which made Xing Kai let his guard down, thinking that he was already in the middle of a whirlpool. Since they were going to put on a big show, of course he would do his best to cooperate. But at the moment they had no way of knowing who the mole that eighth brother was talking about was. The night before Old Master Xing's birthday banquet, Xing Kai was still confirming whether Xing Bowen had found the things in Huang Yao's warehouse. After confirming that Xing Bowen did not know, he contacted the mole. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, call the police. I guarantee that the police will catch them on the spot. Keep in touch. I've already set up a channel for you. I understand. I will definitely live up to your expectations, the mole replied on the phone. Xing Kai hung up the phone and felt even more excited and nervous. It was tomorrow. It was tomorrow. After such a long period of humiliation and torture, he would be able to take revenge tomorrow. Of course, he would also go to the old man's birthday banquet tomorrow. He wanted to see for himself what kind of expressions the old man and Xing Bowen would have. It would definitely be exciting. The next morning, the Xing family was extremely lively. Old Master Xing woke up early in the morning. He was in high spirits and his face was glowing. The blessings and gifts from his children and grandchildren were also delivered to him one after another. Although there were all kinds of novelties, none of the gifts were truly delivered to his heart. As for Xing Bowen, he had promised to bring Secretary Ren over, so it could be considered that he was filial. However, Ren Yufei was not someone Xing Bowen could casually brush off. She also seriously prepared a birthday gift for Old Master Xing. She used all kinds of sleeping herbs to make a healthy pillow for the old man. The doctor said that these herbs have a very good effect on the recovery of the brain. I hope you won't mind, Chairman. Old Master Xing took the gift and pointed at Xing Bowen. Look, you're not as sensible as little Ren. Tonight I'll use the pillow. Xing Bowen smiled proudly because he did not expect Ren Yufei to be so attentive. Therefore in private he lowered his head and whispered into Ren Yufei's ear. Why didn't you tell me? You've been racking your brains for the past few days. I didn't want to distract you, so I made the decision on my own, Ren Yufei explained. You've done well. Now everyone was stretching their necks, waiting to see the gift from Mu Qiqi. We're almost out. Why aren't 8th brother and Qiqi here yet? Old Master Xing asked. Qiqi must still be having a headache about what to give. After all, it was 8th brother's order. Xing Bowen laughed. Now that he had Ren Yufei's filial pillow, it would be even more difficult to surpass Mu Qiqi. Is the old man that hard to please? Wasn't he in the past? The old man was stunned when he heard this, but he also laughed. I'm in a good mood today. I won't argue with you. It was at this moment that Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi entered the Xing family's hall. Su Che followed behind Mu Qiqi with a big box in his arms. Why are you so late? Xing Bowen quickly went up to them and asked Mu Qiqi. I accompanied her to get something, so... Xing Zhao's gaze fell on the box covered with a black cloth. He really didn't know what this thing was up to. You don't know what she's going to give? Xing Xiao shook his head. It's such a big thing. I'm afraid it won't reach the old man's heart. Xing Bowen sighed. The box was big and heavy, so it was definitely not practical. Qiqi, what's in that box? Old Master Xing pointed at the box on Su Che's shoulder and asked Mu Qiqi, what are you up to? A gift for you. Mu Qiqi turned around and gestured for Su Che to put it down. Stop keeping me in suspense. What exactly is it? Take it out and let me see. We're about to go to the banquet venue. Old Master Xing was also anxious. Let me say this first. If you don't like it, I won't give you any more gifts. Mu Qiqi walked in front of Su Che and personally placed the box in front of the old man. You're weird. Open it. Mu Qiqi removed the black cloth and revealed an ordinary wooden box. It looked ordinary, so of course it was not something precious. However, when Mu Qiqi opened the lid of the box, Old Master Xing's eyes widened. Chapter 734. Everyone craned their necks to look. They wanted to know what was inside the black box that could make the old man show such an indescribable expression. Xiaoqi, what did you take out to scare Grandpa like this? With that, Xing Bowen was about to move forward, but he was stopped by the old man. Wait. The others looked at the old man in confusion. Wasn't it just a gift? Did he have to be so mysterious? Old Xing squatted down and took out the gift that everyone was curious about from the box. It was a fine wooden walking stick. When everyone saw it, they immediately sighed. Tisuke, I thought it was something amazing. Xiaoqi, you're fooling this old man too much. Xing Bowen also laughed. Mu Qiqi smiled but did not say anything. She just turned her head and glanced at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao pulled the little one in front of him and rubbed her head hard. Everyone thought that it was just a walking stick. However, no one noticed that the old man's expression when he received the walking stick was that tears almost seeped out of the corner of his eyes. He stroked the walking stick up and down, carefully observing the lines on it. The more he looked, the more he loved it. Grandpa? Xing Bowen called out to the old man. Do you like it or not? This walking stick is made of rare gloomy wood. The carvings on it are exactly the same as my old one. But do you know why I can't bear to throw away the old one? Your grandmother bought it for me when she was still alive. I've used it for so many years that the carvings on it have all been smoothed out by me. Now that I have this new one, I can properly treasure the one your grandmother bought for me. After hearing the old man's words, everyone suddenly understood why the old man's expression was not very happy, but complicated. Girl, how did you know? I don't know. I just saw that you have always used this walking stick. It's been a few years, but you still insist on using it, so I guessed. For someone as powerful as you to use an old object for so long, it shows how important it is, Mu Qiqi replied. The carvings on it are based on my memory. I searched for them on the internet and then I carved them according to them. Are you praising me or belittling me? Also, did you carve this yourself? When I bought it, it was just a piece of wood. I even went to school to find a lot of teachers and students who studied industrial design. Otherwise, do you think I could still buy an antique with the same carving? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. Old man, are you satisfied? Old Master Xing held his walking stick and tried it on the ground. He looked happy. It's really good and comfortable. Sure enough, eighth brother didn't dote on you for nothing. Xing Bowen gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi couldn't be bothered with him at all. Instead she asked Xiao for credit. I did it. What reward will you give me? Didn't you prepare a gift for me? Xiao raised his eyebrows and exposed the secret that someone had revealed when she was drunk. How did you know? Mu Qiqi was puzzled. Who told you? You'll only know the answer when you see the gift, Xiao whispered into her ear. Could it be that these things that she had prepared were discovered by this man again? That shouldn't be the case. This time she was so secretive unless this man could read minds. When old Master Xing received such a gift, Mu Qiqi had hit the nail on the head. Fortunately he did not break them up back then. Otherwise he would not have known that this girl was actually such a clever thing. No wonder eighth brother loved her so much. Third brother, quick, help me put the thing that your grandmother gave me in this box. I want to hang it in my bedroom. Xing Bowen smiled and helped old Master Xing put away the badly worn walking stick. Then he asked the new butler to put it in his room. Old Master Xing was happy. Then the group of people drove their respective cars to the birthday banquet venue. Although sixth brother was still not used to Mu Qiqi, he had to admit that Mu Qiqi was like a spirit beast that eighth brother had raised. She did not have any other abilities, but her ability to read minds was top-notch. Even the descendants of the old man who had been by his side all year round did not know what was on his mind. However, Mu Qiqi could actually see through it and come up with such a thoughtful gift. Just based on this, he had to admit defeat. When old Master Xing received other gifts, he only took a glance and asked the butler to put them in his room. Only this walking stick was in his hand. After getting into the car, his eyes never left the walking stick. Soon the Xing family arrived at the Di Xing Hotel where the birthday banquet was held. The guests also went to the hotel garden to celebrate old Master Xing's birthday. However, no one expected that there would be a wonderful show that was about to be staged in addition to old Master Xing's birthday banquet. At 9:30 a.m., Xing Kai also brought Gu Xiling, who was dressed up, to Di Xing. On such an important day, old Master Xing should not be so heartless as to be happy. After all, there was still a grandson suffering outside. He wanted old Master Xing to remember this no matter where and when. After getting into the car, Gu Xiling could not help but turn to her husband and ask, "Can you guarantee that nothing will go wrong? We've been waiting for this day for too long. We can't afford to make any mistakes. You have to know that grandfather has high hopes for you. If you can't even deal with the old man of the Xing family and Xing Bowen, then godfather's trust in you will definitely be greatly reduced. I'm more nervous about this plan than you are, so you don't have to worry," Xing Kai answered as he drove. Although it was the day of revenge, Gu Xiling could not help but be nervous. Because she really wanted to see the Xing family suffer a crushing defeat. "I believe you." Xing Kai nodded. He had spent so much effort and used so many clues just to prevent Xiao from seeing through his plan. However, it turned out that he had overestimated Xiao. Xiao did not pay attention to this at all. In that case, the scene later would only be more exciting. It was already 10 o'clock in the morning. Xing Bowen looked at the time on his watch and then looked for Xiao in the crowd. So far, there was no movement from Xing Kai's side. "Why are you in such a hurry?" Mu Qiqi glared at him with champagne in her hand. "Look at you. You're even more excited than Xing Kai." "Xing Kai hasn't made a move yet. I'm afraid he'll do something else." Xing Bowen was worried about this. "You finally know to prepare for a rainy day." Mu Qiqi smiled. The reason why Xiao was because he would try his best to imagine everything that would happen and stop it. No one could do it as flawlessly as him. Chapter 735. They waited for 2 hours, but there was still no sign of Xing Kai. It seemed that he did not intend to participate in the competition. Puzzled, Xing Bowen arranged for the guests to enter the banquet hall one after another. Lunch was about to begin soon, and at that time the Xin family came with gifts to celebrate. Ever since Grandpa Xin retired, he had been living in seclusion. But today, for the sake of his old friend, he finally abandoned his pond and dressed up to attend Grandpa Xing's birthday banquet. The two old men met and started chatting again. They talked about everything under the sun and their smiles were full of wrinkles. The old man is smiling very happily now. I wonder if he can bear it later. Mu Qiqi frowned as she watched the old man and her grandfather chat. She could not help but sigh. Instead of thinking too much, it's better to deal with it properly. Xianxia hugged her and brought her around to greet the guests. Let's not wait for now. The luncheon is about to start. Let's all go in. Xingbowen hugged Ren Yufei and said to the two of them. The guests entered the banquet hall one after another. The atmosphere was harmonious and warm. Although the birthday banquet was a big event, Xingbowen only invited friends who made the old man happy. Those who had conflicts with him were all excluded. After all, the most important thing was to make the old man happy. Everyone took their seats in the luxurious banquet hall. The MC on the stage was about to let old Xing step forward to express his thoughts. At this time, many of the people present had begun to receive news that something had happened to Huang Yao. After all, they were all well-known figures in the business world. Everyone had always paid attention to the developments in the industry. Some had received accurate information, while others only knew that many police officers had arrived at Huang Yao's warehouse. And judging from the Xing family's current state of mind, it was clear that they had not received any news at all. The host was so enthusiastic, and it was the old master's birthday, so they didn't want to remind him of this kind of thing, and they didn't know how to open their mouths. Hey, have you guys heard? We found that thing in Huang Yao's warehouse. I also received the news. What's going on? Huang Yao is also involved in this business. I have friends in the police and they've already dispatched the police. It's definitely true. It's just that the current situation is very awkward. We don't know what to say. In the banquet hall, 2 or 3 people began to whisper to each other. Finally, Xingbowen received a call. The police have arrived. The identity of the mole has been confirmed. Those guys are under the control of the police. I believe it will only take 10 minutes for the police to arrive. I understand. When Xingbowen received the call, he did not panic. Instead, he felt more at ease. Because this meant that Xing Kai's plan had not changed. It was the same as before. Then Xingbowen stood up and said to Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi, "The show is about to begin." Having said that, he walked towards old Xing and whispered in his ear, "Something happened in Huang Yao. I'll go and deal with it now. Grandfather, 8th brother is here. You don't have to worry about anything." After the old man heard this, he was stunned for a moment. He turned his head and asked, "What is it? Why do you need to leave now?" "It's under control. It's not a big deal. Don't worry." After saying that, Xingbowen was about to leave. After all, he had to put on a good show. When everyone saw him get up and leave, they knew that he must have known that Huang Yao was being investigated by the police. Of course, he had to rush back to deal with it immediately. Old Xing's expression was a little worried. In fact, it was not that he was unaware. He vaguely knew that on his birthday, there would definitely be people with bad intentions. However, he did not expect that they would find 3rd brother. Old Xing continued to stay in the main seat. According to the segment, he would go up and say a few words. However, just as the MC handed the microphone to old Xing, the door of the banquet hall was suddenly pushed open. Then the police who had received the tip-off walked up the red carpet and entered the banquet hall. "Sorry to disturb your birthday celebration, old man. However, we would like to ask who is in charge of Huang Yao. Come out immediately." "I am." Xingbowen had already walked to the side door. He retreated and faced the police. "Today is my grandfather's birthday. I wonder if you..." Someone reported that a large amount of diacetylmorphine had appeared in Huang Yao's warehouse. The police received the news and immediately went to investigate. "Indeed, they found something similar in the warehouse, so we need you to return to the police station with us to cooperate with the investigation." "What is diacetylmorphine?" Xingbowen asked despite knowing the answer. "It's powder. Something that causes hallucinations." The police used body language to explain. "Officer, I'm afraid you've misunderstood. How could there be such things in Huang Yao's warehouse? We're all honest businessmen. Whether it's true or not, you can come back with us to investigate first." 4 police officers, 2 in plain clothes and 2 in police uniforms. When old Master Xing saw this, he got up from his table and walked in front of them. His voice trembled slightly. "Officer, are you mistaken? Our Huang Yao only makes the sound of diamonds and jewelry. We don't have any descendants to touch those things. Sir, whether it's true or not, we have to verify it before we know. If you didn't do it, the police will naturally prove your innocence." "Grandpa's fine. I'll go with them." Xing Bowen comforted the old man. Today is your birthday. Be happy. I promise you that nothing will happen to me. Old Master Xing did not say anything. He leaned on his walking stick with a gloomy expression. Sir, please make things convenient for us. The police officers were also in a difficult position. When Mu Chichi saw this, she quickly went forward and said to the old man, Third brother promised you that nothing will happen to you. At the very least, your favorite eighth brother is sitting there motionlessly. If you need anything, look for him. Old Master Xing looked in Xing Zhao's direction. Seeing that he was really indifferent, he took a deep breath. Then he subconsciously took 2 steps back so that the police could bring him in. However, Sheng Kai seized this opportunity and time to walk straight into the banquet hall through the door. He even pretended to be late. It looks like I'm late and missed some wonderful show. Sheng Kai brought Gu Xiling with him. He held the gift in his hand and walked to the old man with a smile on his face. Grandpa, I'm here to celebrate your birthday. When the old man saw this, he knew what was going on. He directly said to Sheng Kai coldly, If you want to hate someone, hate me alone. Don't vent your anger on third brother. Grandpa, what are you talking about? Sheng Kai gestured to Gu Xiling and handed the gift to Old Master Xing. However, Old Master Xing directly threw the box away. Don't think that I don't know that what happened today was planned by you. That you're tuning in to the Zhou Xian's Legacy YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.